OTB Podcast, Race Companion. I'm Mike Garrison. This is Jeff Crutcher. Anaheim 2 Monster Energy Supercross Championship Series, the first ever Triple Crown getting set to go down. Jeff, this should be an exciting one.
Very specifically, Anaheim 2 Race 3 of the Supercross Series. Yes, should be what will be probably the new format for Supercross going into the future. I think it will kind of actually compact things down as far as rider entries, like in mass, but the racing itself will be better. For example, 6, 8, 10-minute motos, and then 8, 12, and the 250, and then 8, 12, and is it 14 or 16? I can't remember. Terrible information guy right here. Sorry. So, but I'm excited to see how it plays out. I mean, the top 12 qualifiers in qualified timing earlier in the 450 class specifically, we had Anderson, Musquin, Tomac, Brayton, Barsha, Roxon, Seeley, Freeze, Tickle, Baggett, Webb, and Grant, all within 3/4 of a second.
The craziest part about that is nobody knew if Eli Tomac was going to be coming back this week or Marvin Musquin, and they are both sitting in the top 3 right now.
Yeah, 2 and 3. These are this is the starting lineup here. Also, probably there's only one 3-digit rider, Ben LeMay, and he came in last corner of the LCQ. He was the last one to make it in.
Now, what do you think, as far as the format goes, the first main obviously going to be the shortest main, gets a little bit longer, and then the longest main. That short main up front, that's going to play, I would think, a part into the sprinter guys that can get the whole shot and they can run 5, 6 laps fast, but that's it. And then they run out of steam. For instance, like in the 250 class, we've seen Christian Craig. He always starts out really strong, but kind of drops off. We could see a main event win from him tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only will it benefit guys like Christian Craig, but also your Vince Freezes, who qualified 8th. So I think we're going to have a pretty wide array of possible main event wins. You know, I don't necessarily, I understand that they're mains, but it's kind of weird to call it a main whenever there's 3 mains.
Yep.
It's almost as if we need a better word. Oh, wait, moto.
There you go.
Moto 1, 2, and 3. I mean, I have a hard time calling it a main because, yeah, whenever I think of mains, there's main.
The last time, to the best of my knowledge, that we had 3 mains or motos,
Super Bowl of motocross?
Exactly. Other than the Monster Cup was Super Bowl motocross back in 78?
Yeah.
9?
I mean, it's
40 plus years, easily.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they said earlier that, well, they quoted exactly what you just said. Ralph and Jeff did, that it has been that long since the original Supercross races. And again, that's, how long ago? Where's our stat book at? So inside of for those that are watching, just so we're very current, we have the entire Supercross stat book right here. So this is all of last year's winners from this race. And as we know, Ken Roxon got 22nd, 1 point. That's whenever he ate the shit. So this is, Anaheim 2 is a pretty memorable race for him. But if you want to talk for a second, I'm going to try to find the results from the first Supercross.
Well, mentioning Ken Roxon, that's something to think about. Watching in timed qualifying today in the free practice sessions, the track, once again here in Anaheim, going to be soft. Started to get rutted in some of the rhythm sections, and that's going to play a part, I think, into this in the sense that there's a lot of riders out there, Eli Tomac, some of the other outdoorsy kind of riders that you might expect to do well outdoors that I think we're going to see indoors tonight. But again, we talked about the sprints with the shorter heat rate or the shorter main events for the first one. The middle main event, I believe, is going to be, I think, like Jeff said, I think it's an 8 to 10 minute race. And then in the 450 class, I do believe it's a 15, possibly a 16-minute main in the third one. So it's gonna be a big factor. And I was talking to some people earlier on in the week too. Another one to watch is going to be Ken Roxon. Obviously, he starts out good, but that arm favoring that left arm, his right arm has been cramping up. Therefore, as he favors the left, the right starts cramping up. He slows down a little bit. He's been riding phenomenal, very safe, but he's been getting the job done. I think tonight this could be his shot at his first main event win, and I think we're going to see it in main 1 or 2. I think main 3, that's going to be a little harder, especially after you get on the track, come off the track, get on the track, come off the track. It starts to take its toll. So I think just the fact that they're going to be racing with a main event attitude or passion 3 times tonight, I think is going to be kind of an obstacle in itself. Jeff's over here studying the book. For those of you just tuning in, once again, welcome to the Race Companion of OTB podcast here for Anaheim 2. Jeff, what do you got over there?
Well, from the AMA record book, here we have from the 1974 Supercross series, which there actually was 3, Daytona, Houston, and Los Angeles. And they've actually had a Supercross race in all 3 of those towns since the very beginning. And the 250cc point standings, and back in the day, it used to be added together by lowest points and versus now, which is highest points. So Pierre Carsmakers won on a Yamaha with 15 points, but the actual the person that won the 250 Supercross, what we would call the Super Bowl of motocross, was Jaroslav Falta from Czechoslovakia.
He's not racing anymore. I don't think we're going to see him tonight. I don't
not
think
likely.
I don't think he's going to be out there. I just grabbed my phone. I shared the live broadcast here for the OTB Race Companion. You guys should do the same as well. Share it with all your friends. Why should they share it, Jeff?
Well, tonight we're going to do a fun little thing where anyone that shares our live feed here is going to be eligible to win are you ready for this?
Drum roll.
An OTB sticker pack, including a original OTB logo, a Pro Circuit style logo that says "Over the Bars, We Talk Shit" limited edition, and also the UFO original logo style OTB, and instead of UFO Plast, it says OTB Cast, and also we'll get a gigantic Foxhead sticker included. Thank you to Fox Racing for the stickers to give out. So if you want to be eligible to win this, just simply share, and then all of this will be mailed to you directly, and we will just what we'll do is we'll go through and look at the people that have shared the podcast and or specifically the live feed, and then you'll be eligible to win one of those stickers, and we'll just pick one at random. And Parker Berg is out of the running for that, but Parker, go ahead and share it. We appreciate your fandom, but I give you too much shit already.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, he gets hooked up with OTB stickers on the reg.
Oh, so Parker Berg is out.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's one less person to take away your sticker pack.
So also... something that we're going to do differently tonight with our broadcast, because it's going to go main 1, 254.50, main 2, 254.50, main 3, 254.50. We're going to blaze straight through the podcast, straight through the broadcast from right now until the end of the show. So we're going to be here live the whole time.
No breaks, no second viewings, no second shows live. This is it. You're on it. All the time.
So I'd like to go to the comments right now, and I want to see what people's thoughts are of the Triple Crown. Is this something that you're interested in? Is this a format that you think is going to benefit, or is this do you feel like this is kind of wishy-washy? You're really not that interested in the Monster Energy Cup style format. Now, the difference between Monster Cup and the Triple Crown races, obviously the largest difference is, number one, there's no $1 million at the end of the race if you win all 3 mains. And number 2, this is a points paying race. And the points are paid by the overall. The points are not paid per moto. So you're not going to get 26 points to win. You're going to get 26 points for the overall. So, for example, Muscan could go 2-2-3 and walk away with the overall. Should Sealy go 1-4-2, or however it may fall, it's going to be by overall points, not scored off of just the each event individually.
Well, it's something to think about too. That's also going to play into this tonight because although it is 3 main events, when you have one single main event, the guys are going all out for that one main event because that one race is what counts for their points for the championship. But tonight, a little bit of consistency mixed with obviously the sprint, kind of the middle of the road, and then the long-term main. It all combines together. So that's going to throw another factor into this one.
Yeah, there's a lot of riders that are really good with that 6-lap sprint type racing, and then there are other guys, a la Dungey, whenever he was racing, that or even Aaron Plessinger last weekend of the 250SX class. Obviously, his endurance and drive is what got him the overall win because he started shitty. I mean, he had a terrible start.
Started the number 10 spot, I believe.
I think he was actually even further down than that.
I had counted him out, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, whenever he came around first lap, double digit, position, he was out.
Yep.
Yeah. So something that I want to talk about very quickly, if you are listening to the podcast on live and watching the Fox Sports 1 broadcast, if you're doing both at the same time, in order to ensure that the audio is synced up with the with the TV, it seems to be about 3 or 4, maybe 5-second lag on our live feed. So we're watching the live feed right now. So whenever this is the key. The 30-second card is the key. The TV is always going to be live before the audio. So what I would suggest is as soon as you see the 30-second card on the air broadcast, push pause. So have your remote ready. 30-second card goes up, push pause, and then whenever we talk about the 30-second card, so Mike will say, 30-second card's up, push play, because that will be the perfect time to sync, because whenever we see it is whenever you can sync the audio up. So that's the key there. There are some people that are seeing it, live on the spot with no lag, and then there are some folks that are even lagging a little bit behind, and that's more that's honestly less to do with us and more to do with internet service providers throttling the Facebook Live feed. So there's that. Just a little technical note for you. While we have a second, I'd like to thank our OTB podcast patrons, which is Donnell's Motorcycles here in Independence, Missouri. They are a Suzuki, Honda, Polaris, CF. They carry Polaris, right?
Nope, but Husqvarna is close enough.
Sorry, yeah, Husky, Suzuki, Honda dirt bikes. They carry CF Moto, along with a wide range of Beta Trials bikes. They've got the whole deal. Also, Bar to Bar MX in Wichita. They've got a AMA Loretta qualifier coming up March 16th through the 18th. So check them out at bartobarmx.com. Also, Bikeworks LLC, which is owned and operated by a pro privateer racer, Nick Peterson. Nick is a professional level mechanic who turns an honest wrench at a fair price. So check out Nick. Look him up on Instagram at TheBigShow400. And you can really get a vibe for some of the shoddy work that people put their bikes through, and then Nick pulls bikes apart, and he shows a lot of the faults that people are making with these so-called mechanics. And also Darttown Arena, which is Corey Hipp. It's his company. Corey Hipp is also another pro racer who is currently in the midst of getting his Supercross points. So good luck to Corey this year in the AMA Arena Cross Series. If you are in the Chattanooga, Tennessee area, go to Darttown Arena and shoot some Nerf guns at your friends. So we are watching Jenny Taft talking on the TV now, and the main event card is going across the starting line. So as we're watching here, Sensorillo's crash really kind of reminds me of Benny Bloss's last weekend. It's this dirt, 2 weeks ago rather. This dirt specifically has that sticky yet slick component to it where that rear wheel spin. So the 30-second card is up now, so go ahead and sync up push play on your TV, and Mike, take it away.
Well, we're getting set to go here for 250 main event number 1, the first Triple Crown event, as we talked about, in nearly over 40 years here in Monster Energy Supercross. Starting in that number 1 gate pick is going to be McElrath Cianciarulo. In the number 2 gate pick, Christian Craig in the number 3, which I think Christian Craig is going to be one to watch here in this one. This is going to be our sprint race. This is a short race as they get set to go here. Riders lining up that 30-second board, getting set to go sideways, looking for the gate to drop. Main event number 1, Anaheim 2, our 250 class, and we're off and underway into the first turn. And look at the inside line right there, grabbing that early hole shot. Oh, sweeping from the inside now. It's going to be the 17 of Joey Savacci with the whole shot here in this one.
A lot of Pro Circuit Kawasaki's really got out of the start straight really well. And those Geico Hondas also have Pro Circuit motors inside of them. No surprise that Savacci and Craig are the top 2.
Well, we talked about Christian Craig in these short sprint races. This could be it, Jeff, as Christian Craig on that Geico Honda, the number 2 spot right there behind Savacci. Got Adam Cianciarulo in the number 3 spot, headed through that second whoop section.
And Savacci's Cianciarulo's dealing with that crash from earlier. There's no way he's not sore from this. So these shorter mains where he'll be able to keep his composure and keep the pain of that crash in his back pocket, this will benefit him specifically.
As they come around here for lap number 1, we'll see what our full running order is here. It looks like, I believe that is going to be the 30 in the number 4 spot. But right now, Adam Cianciarulo trying to close that gap up on Christian Craig here in this one. And indeed, it is going to be Mitchell Harrison in that number 4 spot. Shane McElrath in the number 5 spot. McElrath, your top qualifier, out of timed practice today. Coming back around into the whoop section right now, Joey Savacci out front. Everybody staying close here in this one. Only 4 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in this race right now. Savacci out front, Christian Craig in that number 2 spot. Again, it is a combined score between all 3. Look at Christian Craig running down the inside there.
Plessinger, your points leader with the red plate, currently sits in 9th, 7 seconds behind first place, and with only 4.5 minutes to go, he's going to have to burn some heaters, especially on a track that has an easy whoop section, corners that are kind of one-lined. It's going to be really hard for him to make up any time into the top 3 and be in contention. Well, again, because we're racing 3 times, and you see this in Loretta regionals and the actual Loretta's race, anything can happen, and whenever that third moto comes into effect, the score can really be jumbled up. I mean, it's a popcorn basket right now.
I've also got a feeling that we're going to see in these short sprints a little more arena cross style riding. I think we're going to see some cutthroat moves to make some last ditch effort passes between a lot of these riders. And right now, Adam Cianciarulo, the number 92, dropping back a bit as Shane McElrath has closed the gap up on him just a bit. Harrison in the number 5 spot now, and there's the number 52 working his way up on that Monster Energy Yamaha as they work their way around. 3 minutes, 30 seconds left to go. Oh, and side by side, up and over the finish line they go. Harrison, though, holding that inside line, that Rockstar Husky, working his way back around.
Yeah, Oldenburg coming off of heat race win last weekend in Houston should be towards the front of the pack. He's one of the fastest riders on the track. But I think that he's one of those guys that may actually be better in the longer mains versus this quick sprint first main here.
And as we're talking about that, Shane Oldenburg now working his way. Oh, Cianciarulo clipping that tough block that jumped out into the inside there. Oldenburg has worked his way up to the number 3 spot. Now Cianciarulo drops back to the number 4 spot. Savacci. McElrath. Who did I say?
Oldenburg,
McElrath. McElrath up into the number 3 spot. Cianciarulo in the number 4 spot. There's our red plate rider right there, Aaron Plessinger, as he works his way through the field past the 54.
54 is Phil Nicoletti on the JGR Suzuki 250F.
As they come back around right now, 2 minutes, 30 seconds left to go. So hard to believe this is a main event and it's almost over right now. Plessinger has now worked his way up into the number 7 spot. So he's going to be chasing down Mel Ross here in this one as they work their way back through that rhythm section after the start lane.
Plessinger on lap 1 started 11th. Meanwhile, his main competition, Savacci, Craig, McElrath, Cianciarulo, Oldenburg, all within the top 5 off of the gate and out of the first corner.
And Plessinger taking an interesting line there through that little whoop section. He actually looked like he went triple through that section instead of skimming across the top of it like a couple other riders. May have gained a little bit of time on Melross there in that one. Oldenburg still in the number 5 spot. Savatgy out front with a 1.7 second lead now with a minute 45 before that white flag comes out.
Justin Hill, last year's champion of the 250 West Championship from 2017, is currently sitting in 12th, 20 seconds behind first place. This is not, I don't believe that this is Hill's year. I don't think that he's meshed well with that Suzuki. And, I don't blame him, because my understanding is that he took this 250 ride knowing that the 250 is not that great of a bike, to secure a 450 contract come next year, regardless of his results.
Well, Plessinger right now putting the pressure on as he's working his way up alongside Melross now. Melross, though, a fantastic run for him here in this one. 1 minute left to go up and over the triple. Now keep an eye on Plessinger right here. He's got him set up to the inside. He's going to die, and he's got it. So now Plessinger now up into the number 6 spot. 1 spot back from Adam Cianciarulo. He's still sitting outside the top 5, though, and that's gonna play a toll on the next 2 races and how he finishes, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Savatgy obviously riding very smooth in first place right here with 2.5 seconds and of a lead on second place Craig, and McElrath right behind him. If they stay as they are, great. It's a feather in the cap for Savatgy, but he has to maintain that momentum going into the next 2 races. Savatgy, however, known for being the kind of rider that loses it mentally later in the race. So by main 3, should he win this race, now he's going to go into the next race with a little more pressure, and I don't know how he'll come out in main number 2 should he hang on to the win here with only 3 seconds. Now we're going to go to the 2-lap remaining card.
Well, Shane McElrath diving to the inside now. McElrath catches the inside and goes down. McElrath on the ground now. Christian Craig scoots away here in this one. So McElrath on this last lap. We talked about that arena cross style race. He tried to put the move in on him here on the final lap, put himself on the ground. That's going to move everybody up a spot now. So Oldenburg, take a look here, the replay. McElrath to the inside on Craig. Just about takes Craig with him.
Yeah, I don't think that if he wouldn't have forced the issue so much, then I don't believe that he would have fallen over. This is odd that we cut. Okay, there we go. That's odd. It's cut to a Suzuki commercial for a second there on our feed, but we're still watching the replay, and we're back live.
2 laps left to go now. Joey Savatgy out front on that Monster Energy Kawasaki. Of course, Savatgy coming off last year, a heartbreak of a finish to last year's Supercross season. So right now, Savatgy trying to get back on top of this one. We'll see where we got, where is Plessinger at? He is still in the number 6 spot. So McElrath has dropped to the number 5 spot there after that crash. And there you can see them working their way around right now. Oldenburg in the number 3. There is Cianciarulo and McElrath. So this is going to be a battle to watch here on this final lap as McElrath going to be putting the pressure on Adam Cianciarulo as he looks over his shoulder now. Cianciarulo start. Oh, a little mistake there from Adam Cianciarulo. McElrath look over the inside line. Up onto the left side they go.
Cianciarulo's obviously dealing with that crash. I mean, that's something you don't leave behind you whenever you face plant through that small, tight rhythm section like he did in practice. White flag out.
Here comes that checkered flag, and main event number 1, Joey Savatgy with the win here, our 250 class. Watch this last corner right here as McElrath to the inside. Not going to get it, though. It's going to be Craig with the number 2 spot, Oldenburg with the 3, Cianciarulo in the 4, and McElrath round out your top 5. Plessinger has worked his way up in the number 6 spot. Well, Jeff, that was a main event.
It certainly felt like it in depth of talent, but did not feel like it in length. So, again, this is a new style, and I like that instead of doing like 3 10-minute races, that we're doing those short, mid, and long length races. I'm going to grab a pen.
I think the one we're going to have to watch for is Aaron Plessinger. Obviously, again, he started in the number 11 spot. He worked his way all the way up into the number 6 spot to finish that one out. So I think Plessinger is going to be one to watch for, especially if he can get a start. I believe that Plessinger, obviously your points leader right now, he's going to be the man on top, I think, in the 3rd and final main, because I think out of most of these riders right now, Plessinger is the guy that can go the longest, stay the most consistent. But I think his starts are hindering him quite a bit here in this one. So Joey Savatgy with the win, Christian Craig 2nd, Mitchell Oldenburg 3rd, and we'll go here to listen to Joey Savatgy.
Is this format, do you feel like, really fits your riding style?
I don't know, man. Honestly, it's different. I'm used to lining up, getting a heat race in, and it's a little less pressure in a heat race. You know, if you don't win the heat race, it's not as big of a deal. So, you know, my Monster Energy Pro Tour account talking about to a great start. You know, and we put in our laps, had pressure from Christian early on, and it's a little slippery. So we just tried to focus on my own laps and get it done. But you know, it's not possible without the man up above. So it's a good way to start the night.
Yes, it is. A 2.5-second win over Christian Craig. We'll see you back here for race number 2 in a little bit.
All right, thanks, guys.
So now, sounded to me a little bit like on Savachi's end, wasn't really a fan of this format, despite the fact that he won main event number 1.
Perhaps. I think that a lot of guys are not quite used to going through the paces of a three moto format. I mean, every race counts now, whereas in the heats, you can have a race and still, you know, be in the hunt for the main event win, because that's simply just for gate picks. So now that we're dealing with actual accumulated points, and obviously Savachi 1, Craig 2, Oldenburg 3, so on down the list, and we will keep the points as they run in the second main, whatever you want to call it, as it goes. So yeah, I think as the points accumulate, it's a more stressful race scenario. It makes for a longer night as opposed to just one main.
Well, talking about looking at the lap times out of that main event, the only 2 riders to get in the 50-second lap range, Plessinger with a 50.8, McElrath with a 50.8 as well. So 8.85 for McElrath, 8.56 for Plessinger. Everybody else in the 51 to 52 range, if not above that.
This column here is the best lap, correct?
Yes, I'm looking at the last lap, aren't I?
Yes,
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So that's actually interesting, Mike, that on the last lap, yeah, McElrath and Plessinger were both sub 51. Now, meanwhile, Savachi set his fastest lap time of 50.5 in 6, and then Craig with a 50.7 in 3. Again, Craig's deal, first couple laps, and he's going to be hot. Savachi actually turned fastest lap time on the 6th lap, which that was the final lap. So Savachi actually got better as the race went on, perhaps nerves. Now imagine if we were still racing.
I think the hardest part about this it's mentally going to be more stressful for these guys, because now they got to go back, think about what just happened on the track. If it was good, the confidence is going to carry over. But I think guys that had a subpar run for what they were expecting, I think now they have even more pressure on themselves to do better this time around. Yeah,
and that's I think that'll be stressed throughout the night, both on our end and on FS1. It's really interesting to see that that importance left on every single race. Whereas, you know, there's no more heats, semis are gone, no LCQ. We're just straight into it. So we're going to go to the comments now and read some of the stuff that people are saying. So, Mike, if you want to click on the comment button there, if you hit that one, then we'll be able to. Well, maybe not.
See if I can find the...
Try clicking the OTB podcast button there.
Let's try that one. Nope. Let's try this one.
And there we go. Well, why is it not letting us? Well,
we're seeing a few comments, but not all of them.
Yeah, we've got a few comments here, and we appreciate you guys commenting, but it's kind of having a little bit of a difficulty loading up the comments, so I'm going to reach forward here. Seems to be a split decision between guys saying that they do enjoy the Supercross format and some guys saying that they do enjoy the 3 main format. Let's see. There we go. There's the full comment bar right there. All right. So some guy, yeah. It kind of seems like Okay, so actually a good question. So Ronnie Bass asked, I might have missed this, but are they doing more than one Triple Crown this year or just A2? Good question, Ronnie. It's Anaheim 2 this weekend, and then Atlanta, which is in a couple weeks, and then Minneapolis. So only the West Coast will see one Triple Crown race, whereas the East Coast will actually see two of them. Tomorrow also, I think at all three Triple Crown races are the ones where they're doing the amateur day races also.
And there's also, in addition to the Triple Crown, there's multiple 250 Midwest or East-West shootouts this year as well. I'm not sure. The one Triple Crown race, I believe, is that an East-West shootout?
It could be if it was at Minneapolis. That would be the only one that's the other East-West shootout. But I thought that Dallas was an East-West shootout.
You might be right.
And not Minneapolis. So I believe that it's Las Vegas and Dallas.
Quite a few changes this year. Something I haven't seen tonight on the track, and Jeff, I want your opinion of this, the Steve Mathis Pulp MX nets. I call him that, Steve Mathis.
Right, because he advocated for it.
Yes, he is a full advocate for the nets. What is your thoughts on that? I haven't seen them tonight.
Well, if you notice, actually, none of the berms are those 5 foot plus tall berms. None of them are double stacked on tough blocks either. I think that we just don't have quite as tall of berms tonight. And, you know, no fault to the track builders. They've done something a little bit different and good, because we don't need tall berms at every single race in every single corner. There's a reason that we're trying that we want those. Part of it is that we want those, and we want small berms. You know, there has to be a variance week in and week out between the two. If there are any corners that have the tall berms, they line up towards the middle infield of the track where there's nothing on the backside of it, as you can see here in corner, let's see, that would be the finish line corner, which probably does have the tallest berm. That would be, there's nothing on the backside here, as you can see where I'm pointing as we're watching the track map. So the finish line corner jumps into, should anybody go on the backside of it, nothing is back there. No boats, no photography stands, nothing back there for there to be any incidents. And again, you know, Feld is taking that very seriously over not allowing or not compromising rider safety with opportunity for advertising dollars. And I also think that perhaps Trey Kennard has advocated. If you look, the floor looks very bare here. I don't see any trucks. There's no extra huzzah out in the middle of the track. It is simply a racetrack built into the stadium. I like it. We don't need all that extra stuff.
Well, you mentioned that, and Ricky Carmichael. Was it not Ricky Carmichael that hit the boat?
Yes, it was.
Yep. That was many years ago, but he collided himself with the boat. So little things like that you don't really think about, but as a rider, you definitely think about that. But as a spectator, something you don't really consider.
Yeah. So there's Marvin Muscan right there with his, that's a beautiful looking helmet that he's got there. Eli Tomac, also the two riders that were injured last weekend. Now we're getting ready to go here.
As we get set to go here, our 450 main lineup, that 30-second board is up now. Anderson, your top qualifier out of timed practice today. Muscan and Tomac, second and third. Although a lot of people were questioning whether they would even race tonight, they laid down the fastest top 3 times. Brayton in that number 4 spot. Barsha, Roxon with the 6th fastest time. Now, time practice went by your 1 fastest lap in the time practice sessions, and that is how it laid out. As we get set to go, that 30-second board goes sideways. Main event number 1 here for the Triple Crown 450. Looking for the gate to drop, and we're off and underway into the first turn. We'll see who grabs that whole shot. I believe that's Blake Baggett running up the inside, but it's going to be the number 14, Cole Seeley, coming out on top here in this one. Seeley and Brayton side by side.
A lot of red going into that first corner between Brayton and Seeley, and here it is. Justin Brayton, the Fort Dodge, Iowa native, coming out front. That triple in the middle of the track there has proven to be, Tickle and Stewart down, and there goes Martin. So that triple has proven to be pretty tight, both in the LCQs and then in that last race. Also, Vince Freeze bad start. He was expected to be one of the guys to do really well in this short main.
Well, I expected that as well. And as we look right now, none of our what I would call our all-star riders here in this one, aside from Cole Seeley, where's Roxon, Tomac, Musquin as they work their way around? Look, Tomac in the number 6 spot, Roxon in the 8th spot, Musquin in the 11th spot, Barsha in the 9. This is going to shake things up, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. Anderson in 13th. Reed is in 10th currently. I'd say of our top 5, and this is exactly what we were hoping for in this kind of racing, these shorter races, the top 5 right now are guys that are vying for the wins. I mean, Brayton, Pike, Baggett, these guys are probably the greatest possible benefactor for these shorter races.
Well, we just saw that tough block fallout in the track again. We saw that in the 250 race as well. So it dropped out there, and there we're looking at Eli Tomac as he's closing the gap up on Josh Grant now. Through the step-on, step-off section, 6 minutes, 20 seconds left to go. It's Seeley, Brayton, Pike, Baggett, and Grant, your top 5. Tomac sitting in the number 6 spot. Cooper Webb in the number 7 spot. Cooper Webb, a rider that I think a lot of people expected a lot out of and has not had the start to this season that he was hoping for.
Roxon and Webb right there in 7th and 8th together. They're two riders that have quite a bit of a history. And now as we see Grant and Tomac, Monster Energy Kawasaki teammates battling it out, Grant goes for the triple option through the whoops, and Tomac skims across the top, and it looked pretty equal.
There is no pulling over here on this one for Grant and Tomac, as Grant is holding his own right now with Tomac charging up the outside line in the whoop section.
Meanwhile, Seeley out front with a 2-second lead above Brayton, and Pike with another second behind Brayton. Baggett setting at 3.7 seconds behind the leader, and then Grant, Tomac, and the number 2 of Cooper Webb all right there together, about 5.5 to 6 seconds behind first place.
Well, now we can see Roxon working his way into the picture now. Right behind him going to be Justin Barsha as well, side by side. The 2 Monster Energy Kawasaki riders, the 33 and the 3, and Josh Grant right now, he is not laying over here for Eli Tomac. Tomac having to work his way around and has not been able to do it just yet as they work their way into the whoop section. A little bit different line there as they drop down this tough block right here. That inside tough block is the one that keeps getting caught and brought out onto the track. We'll see if that plays a factor in this one as it did a little bit in the 250 race.
That whoop section after the famed tough block is definitely a longer whoop section, smaller whoops than we're used to, followed by a triple right after a flat corner. Tomac making the pass on Grant. Now he's going to set in 5th as they come across the finish line.
4.5 minutes left to go in this one. Webb now setting his sights on Grant, followed up by Roxon and Barsha. And now you can see Tomac working his way into the top 5. Going to be next up in line, and 4th is going to be Blake Baggett. There is Barsha. Now Barsha has worked his way up. So Barsha closing the gap up now on Grant. So Barsha gets by Roxon and by Cooper Webb now as they work their way into that whoop section we were just talking about with 4 minutes, 10 seconds left to go here in this one.
Of all the riders that crashed on that first corner incident, only Tickle was still in last place. It looked like he made a pit stop. Vince Freeze in 21st, Dakota Tedder in 19th, and Malcolm Stewart still back in 19th. So some of the, again, those guys are all favorites for this style of racing.
Well, and Roxon, Anderson dives to the inside on Roxon. Anderson gets alongside Roxon, just about sends them both off the track. Anderson goes on by now, and Musquin right there behind Roxon as they work their way back into the center section now. The red plate on Jason Anderson, your points leader, as he's trying to fight his way back up with 3:25 left to go. There you see Roxon and Musquin. Roxon goes wide. Musquin now pushes him wide, so Roxon doesn't seem to be on Roxon pace here in this one.
And we're fighting for 9th, 10th, and 11th place right now. This is the battle that you would expect to see in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, not in double-digit positions. This is really unique to see this kind of racing back here towards the back. And perhaps, Mike, even these guys who are main event winners, multiple time main event winners. Man, Roxon looks really stiff. He seems to be really upright. Maybe that arm's really factoring, but it seems to be the guys that do really well in the longer mains. it's almost as if they know they have less of a shot because those are the riders who play off of attrition versus our sprint riders, which, I mean, we're seeing them. Seeley, Brayton, Pike, Baggett. These are all guys that are fast in time and fast towards the front of the races in the longer mains. Now we've got a shorter main. They've got that in their pocket, and they're able to capitalize that on confidence.
Well, Blake Baggett working his way by Weston Pike. Now is Pike a lucky save through the whoop section. He muscled his way back into it. So Baggett now working his way up into a top 3 spot, but here comes Weston Pike. It's kind of a role reversal a little bit mentally, I think, for a lot of these guys, like you were talking about. These guys now feel like they have a shot, whereas the guys that know in a long race they have a shot, they may not feel that way now. So it's totally flip-flopped.
I mean, imagine being Weston Pike, who's used to running top 3 for the first half of the race, and he does that week in and week out. Now he's got a race that's 8 minutes long. He's good for 8 minutes to run top 3 speed. So it's no surprise to see him in 4th place with Tomac behind him, dogging him, unable to get around him. This is exactly what we were looking for in these short races, and I love it because, I mean, this is roulette supercross racing.
Well, and with Tomac's start to the season, an event like this or multiple events with a Triple Crown, if we were to see this more in the future, it's going to tremendously help guys like Tomac that missed out on valuable points in the first several rounds, because as of right now, he's the only real title contender, although he's not in title contention this year so far. He's the real only title contender that has worked his way up to the front. Everybody else is still buried in the field here in this one with a minute to go.
So currently, Jason Anderson, our points leader, is in 8th. Ken Roxon, second in points, still in 11th. Barsha would be in 7th. And Pike, really, actually, if the race was over right now, I think that Weston Pike would just about walk away with the points lead, as they pretty close as the points lead. He'd be in the top 3 if the race ended at the checkers for this first main.
Well, and Cole Seeley now has stretched his lead out to 4.6 seconds over Justin Brayton in the number 2 spot. Blake Baggett still in the 3. And right now, Weston Pike, there you see in the number 4 spot, fighting off Eli Tomac in that number 5 spot. So your top 5 riders working their way around right now. Josh Grant still sitting in the number 6 spot. Anderson, Barsha, Muscan, Webb, your top 10. Roxon and Reed. Reed, a rider that did not make it directly in from timed practice today. He had to go to the last chance qualifier race, which he won this afternoon. So obviously his gate pick, not a good one, but he's running much better here in the main event tonight.
Well, and this is a very fair start. This is a very fair first turn. So bad gate picks should not be that consequential in this race. Again, we're talking about a lot of mental games of riders that just don't care for these short races whenever the chips are on the table, the money's on the line. This counts towards those 26 points available of a win. And right now, it looks like Seeley is setting best to take those 26 points. Brayton right behind him in second. Justin could easily go 2-2-2 and walk away with another overall, what we would call an overall win.
Granted, this is a shorter main event. We've got 2 more to go. But what is Brayton's best finish in our 450 class in his career? I don't think he's seen a second place finish overall, has he?
That's I'm not sure. I mean, for some reason I have it in my mind that Brayton has won before. Perhaps he hasn't. I'm not sure. But consider this. Are we going to do an award ceremony of the top 3 on the podium after each main? Again, that's a new question. Seeley coming around to take the checkered flag.
Here he comes up and over the finish now. 450 main, number 1, Cole Seeley. A clean win for him there in that one with nearly a 5-second lead as they work their way around. Now Brayton will take second, Baggett third. Weston Pike will hold on to the number 4 spot, and Eli Tomac 5th. Perhaps more to talk about. Josh Grant 6th, Jason Anderson, your points leader, finishing 7th. Justin Barsha 8th, Marvin Muscan 9th, Cooper Webb 10th, Roxon 11th. So definitely I would say for all of those riders, maybe aside from Cooper Webb, they dropped tremendously from what I expected. Cooper Webb, I think, rode better than I expected. Wow, what a turnaround with the short main. We'll see what main event number 2 brings us.
So I noticed that Seeley, whenever he came across the finish line there, did a big old fist pump as if he had won a 20-lap main. If you were racing, Mike, would you take that main 1, which is only 1/3 of the actual score? Would you take that main 1 win as like I mean, would you celebrate it as much as you would an overall win?
I think for Cole Seeley, looking at the way he rode in that one, I think there are those days when you're riding and you're racing that no matter what place you rode, you rode really well.
Yeah.
I think he was celebrating his ride more than the actual fact that he won.
Okay.
I feel like he set the fastest lap, the only rider to get down the 49-second lap range. But I think he knows in that one he rode tremendous, and I think that's what he was celebrating more than the actual race win.
I'd say that 11 laps in that race. So that shows you that we're going to see a lot of laps come that third and final main.
Yeah, because the third and final main is 15
or 16 minutes.
Yeah, so we're going to see at least 22 laps. I would estimate 22 laps, which, several years back, when we went back to the instead of the timed running for the mains, we were going to see laps. They're running more laps than they used to run.
So yeah, I mean, really, we're going to see a lot more actual racing of these of what we would call the stars. I love it. I think that this is a great idea to ensure that we're keeping the guys that we want to see on the TV screen.
Let's head back over here and take a look at some of our chats here. Let's see here.
So Ty Dakota says, yeah, I like it, but I wish the Super Minis and the 125s and All-Stars were on TVs. Yeah, that's a fair thing to say. But on the other hand, if they raced week in and week out, there's not enough of those riders to go race every weekend and have good quality racing.
As we're going down here, lots of people watching. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget, if you're just now tuning in here, the OTB Podcast Race Companion, I'm Mike Garrison, Jeff Crutcher. Don't forget to share the video tonight. If you share, you win, or you have a chance to win, I should say, a very special OTB sticker pack, which Jeff is about to display.
The original OTB logo. The Pro Circuit Over the Bars We Talk Shit logo. The UFO Plast OTB Cast logo. And, of course, one gigantic Fox Head sticker available to you thanks to Fox Racing with this. So, if you're interested in winning yourself a fun little prize pack to show up in your mailbox, simply push the share button, and then we will mail this to one of our share people. So, we've got 15 people that have shared. And, obviously, do you like free stuff? Do you like winning stickers? Then push that share button. Cole Seeley is on the TV, about ready to talk, so we're going to listen to him here. Oh, you want to hit the mute button on that? Right there.
I was frustrated. It's just we got a lot of competition this year. Last weekend when Justin got back by me, I was really bummed, but he's riding good this year, so it's good to see the sport grow in that kind of way. But yeah, I've been working so hard this year and preparing myself, and coming into the season, I've never felt so prepared. The team's been awesome. My trainer Blake, and I just wanted to get a good start and get out there and show really who I am and who Honda is. It's been way too long since I've been in the front.
Well, it was an impressive run. We'll see you in main event number 2.
Thank you.
Well, Cole Seeley definitely seemed to be confident in that ride, and I think he's going to be a threat in main event number 2 as well.
I also like what he said of, I want to show who I am and what Honda is.
It's true.
Confidence in his motorcycle.
Yeah. He's very, some of his best years have been when he was with, what lights team was he riding? Geico Honda. No. What Honda team was he?
Why can I not remember? Yeah, who he rode for?
I can't.
No. It was whenever it was Troy Lee Honda.
Troy Lee Honda.
Yeah, the Lucas Oil Troy Lee Honda team was who he was riding for.
Let's head back over here to the Facebook chat here. Grayson Leatherman says, "Do you think that Supercross will eventually go to the 3 main for all races?"
That's a good. That's a really good question. I would say, I don't know.
I think this is trial and error.
Yeah,
I think depending on how this season goes and how tonight goes,
That's recording. I'll look at that in a second.
Looks like we got our own little short main event right here on ourselves.
Yeah, for real. Hi, 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 hi. Hello. Okay.
Moment of truth. Moment of truth. Let's go back here.
Hello. Okay.
Yes. Woo! This guy right here fixed
All
this.
right.
We are back online.
Okay, guys, thanks for coming back. We are back to live. Thank you for letting us know that the shit was wrong. So also, whenever you join the Facebook Live, check out in the comments section, there's a little button that says get notified when OTB podcast goes live. Push that button. That's major key. Thank you again, guys, for coming back. We see you rolling back in. We really appreciate that. Sorry, I don't know what happened, but yeah, something happened. It got kind of squirrely. So I'm going to mess with this for a second and reset us. So we had ourselves a little bit, Mike just noted, we had our own little short main there where it seemed like everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
But Jeff here, he's known to be a sprinter, so he was able to handle everything in a very quick fashion and grab the whole shot on that one. Thanks to you guys letting us know. We're back.
We partially cartwheeled through the whoop section, but now we've returned. So
Over the bars. We went over the bars.
absolutely.
Our
And
audio went over the bars.
Audio went over the bars. I don't know what happened. I think something in the mixing unit just kind of
Mixed.
mixed, and but now we're back with 48 volts of phantom power that we did not have rolling earlier, so I went ahead and doubled down with the phantom power. So okay, as things are rolling on, I think that we were, gosh, I can't remember what we were just talking about something off the comments.
Yes, we were discussing the. You were asking viewers your opinion whether you would like to see the triple crown format all the way through, or whether you would rather see the normal Supercross style, but then 10 or 12 rounds in, see it do something like the chase, like they do in NASCAR. And are they still doing that in Arena Cross?
Yes, they are.
The chase, like in Arena Cross.
Yeah. And while you guys comment over that, we're going to go over last year's results from Anaheim too. So, man, what a flip for, say 250SX West, Anaheim to January 21st. First place, you guessed it, Justin Hill from Yoncalla, Oregon. 17 laps led, wire-to-wire win on his Pro Circuit Kawasaki KX250F. Second place, Aaron Plessinger. Third, Shane McElrath. Fourth, Austin Faulkner, currently injured, going to race the East Coast. Martin Davalos in fifth, followed by Dakotas, Reardon, Bowers, who's now racing the 450 class, and Josh Hansen got ninth, and Jeremy Martin in 10th. Kyle Chisholm in 11th, so on down. Pretty bit of a flip. A lot of these names missing going to the East Coast. I really think the East Coast is going to be an outright barn burner of a race. So then in the 450 class, refresh, first place, this race last year, Ryan Dungey, Marvin Muscan, Cole Seeley, Cooper Webb, Weston Pike, Josh Grant, Chad Reed, Tomac with an 8th last year, followed by Millsaps and Baggett. So Baggett, Pike, both really big benefactors of the shorter races compared to this one last year. Tickle, not so much, with a 12th. Porcel, no longer racing since retired. Justin Brayton got a 13th in the main at this race last year. Just got second on his Moto Concept Smart Top Honda. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, it'll be interesting to see a rider like Justin Brayton, who got 13th last year in a 2022 lap main. Where will he finish in this third and final main? What is your prediction?
Third and final main for Brayton, or overall?
Just the third and final main.
I would, that's a hard one to calculate, but I'm just going to roll the dice and say he will finish 7th.
Fair pick.
Take that to the bank, if you will, or don't. Your choice is yours.
So we got some Keaton Fanholes coming in. He says Triple Crown every round. He's for the Triple Crown every round. Grayson Leatherman says, I say that just do it, not.
Not normal each race or have the triple.
Normal each race. Just do normal each race, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Forget everything.
Right, okay. I say just do it normal each race or have the Triple Crown each race. No chase for the points, which, understandable.
I think my issue with the chase thing is, from a spectator point of view, I don't know that it would be a big deal. But if you're a rider and you've worked super hard to earn all those points and you've stretched out your points lead, how do you feel when you reset to 0 with 10 other guys at the start of that chase?
Not to get away from what you were saying, but in the science of Supercross right there, they just said that loam is considered 40% dirt, 40% silt, 20% sand. I didn't know that there was a formula
For loam.
for loam. No, just loam is loam.
Loam is fluffy dirt.
Yeah. Well, I guess in the science of Supercross. And that right there, my friends, is why you are listening to us and not the television, because you know what loamy dirt is. Whenever you see it, you don't have to break it down into simple numbers for the layperson. So, again, if you know somebody that gets annoyed with things like that, then share the OTB podcast.
You should also share it anyway to win your sticker pack.
That's right.
We'll do it again.
Yep. So, okay, Mike, what was the question that you asked before I...
The question, I was just stating that the Triple Crown, how do you feel if you're a rider, if they were to go to the chase format like they run Arena Cross? For instance, if you're Tyler Bowers in Arena Cross.
Okay.
Tyler Bowers, he wins every race in the season. He's got a 80-point points lead going into the chase. The chase starts, they reset to 0. How do you feel if you work that hard to stretch out your lead and now you got to start over with 10 other guys?
I can see both okay, so the negative of it would be like, damn, I lost that giant points lead. The positive would be all the commas and zeros in your bank account from collecting so many wins in order to get such a points lead.
Okay.
So there's an incentive for both. Each race pays the bills. The championship pays the bills. Now, obviously, if you can only do one of those things, do it while you can and worry about that one piece at a time.
Okay, fair enough.
If
you're a rider in a chase situation, chase format, do you ride as consistently and steady to just make it into the chase?
I don't think so, because again, we're talking about racers. People that are there to race. That'd be like, imagine if the Missouri State Series was that way, and first place pays $300 to win plus contingency. Fifth place is $100. So what would I rather make, regardless of the points?
True.
Now, would I compromise that $200 difference just to make it into the chase? Hell no.
Unless the chase paid $400 or $500,000.
In that case, then yeah, yes, that would be a deciding factor. I guess no. That's I'm not interested. I'm not interested in doing that.
What do you think about the Triple Crown so far?
I like it so far. I'm glad that we've got the 250 class, probably not as surprising as the 450 class was. I tell you what I am surprised with, how long it's taking between these races.
Well, that was my next thing is a lot of these guys, if you're in 450 Heat 1 and you go directly to the main on a normal night and you have X amount of time to that main. Now, how much time are these guys given between mains? That's another thing, the recovery time for these guys. Even though it's a shorter sprint, the recovery time for these guys, half the time.
Yeah.
If that, you got to think about, because you've got multiple heat races, you got the last chance qualifiers, then you got the 250 main. So especially these 450 guys, 450 Heat 1 riders going right back in and out again.
How much time do you need after you just rode for 8 minutes?
That's a good question. Guess it depends on who you are.
Okay, well, me going and doing 10 lap motos at bar to bar, and then which was 15 minutes, and then having 45 minutes between 4 races total was hell on earth for me personally. But I'm almost 30 years old, and I train 0 times per year. So would it be hard on me? Yes, I would die. Should it be hard on these guys? No, absolutely not. And especially we're talking about guys that go out and ride 4 laps at full speed to test. Then they come back, sit around, wait. Then they go back out and test and do that on repeat a few times over. So I think that's something that they should be used to.
Okay.
Personally, I mean,
I'm
not really one to give excuses. You know, I don't really like giving excuses to paid professional racers.
Jumping back to the racing that we've seen tonight, we were talking about Ken Roczen looking stiff. What do you think is the issue with Ken Roczen tonight? Was it just that race? Was it maybe the short sprint? Is he essentially taking over maybe the spot of Dungey as the diesel?
I don't know. To project an answer would be hard to do. So I'm really trying to figure out what's going on the TV here. That was kind of distracting because it looked like this lady was just taking pictures of Cooper Webb, and his clutch lever was like Shea Bentley high. I mean, he literally would have had to have lift up here. Maybe that's a new technique that he's trying out.
Possible.
Could be.
Could be.
Yeah. You know, I can't believe this, but it's almost as if we're running out of things to say about Supercross. So let's talk about my outfit here that I've got.
Let's talk about Jeff's outfit that we got here.
So on the way over here, I was running early. I got my dinner at Hy-Vee, and in the same parking lot as Hy-Vee was, yes, you guessed it, a Goodwill. Did the Fox tank top come from there? No, it came from Freedom Cycles in Grandview, Missouri, where I purchased this beautiful Fox Racing tank top. So, however, my overshirt here, this sweet Hawaiian shirt, I got from the Goodwill, $2 even.
I don't really think that's the star of this outfit, though.
No, it's not.
No.
What are my sweet semi-zebra shorts that I got, which are these bad daddies right here. Nice and short. Great.
About the length of very short, undersized boxers.
That's right. Yeah.
And I've got to sit next to it
we'll
all
go
night.
Back to this one over here so you can see.
Even better.
Also, this length. I think that's like a 4-inch inseam.
You realize in high school you would be sent home because your dress is too short. Your shorts are too short.
No, I wouldn't because I'm a boy.
Well, I'm telling you right now.
No, it's not. Look, it's longer than my fingertips.
Okay, you're close. For me sitting next to you, your shorts are too short.
No, they're not. They're just right. Okay, so let's go to the comments. Would you like to see shorter shorts on Mike or longer shorts on me? And we're going to, let's see. We're going to go to the comments now. So please hit those comments with what you got.
As the comments are coming in, we got looks like 5 minutes until we go to 250 main event number 2 here in Anaheim. They're talking to Jason Anderson right now. Something I want to ask you as a rider standpoint, if you're Jason Anderson and you don't finish, you are expected to finish up front, you don't finish where you want to. Is that Dean Wilson?
In the background, yeah.
I didn't even notice that he was back riding.
Well, let's see. Yeah, he qualified in 14th.
He sure did.
Yeah.
Good to see Dean Wilson back after his horrific crash, I would say.
He took a pretty good slam.
That was a digger.
Another shoulder contusion. You know what contusion means? Bruise.
But it sounds way worse.
Well, we're a professional sports league, so we have to say words like contusion instead of a shoulder bruise.
Yes.
So, all right, and we are going to the comments now.
What about
John Bolton says, this is how exciting the format is talking about shorts. And Jesse Anderson votes Mikey with the short shorts.
You got it.
And Jason Sturgill says, what about letting all entries race into the show instead of using qualifying times. Well, that necessarily wouldn't work because there's only 22 gates on the gate. So how would we allow all riders to race off of the gate unless you wanted to put 60 some odd guys on the track at one time? That would be pretty interesting.
My question is with the timed qualifying, the taking one lap compared to a heat race finish, an entire race finish
Yeah.
to seed for the main, that in itself, that alone to me changes things up tremendously. And to take only the top 18, for instance, we saw Chad Reed not make it, but if he would have finished 20th like he did in time practice with a normal format, he would still be in the night show and he would still be in a heat race and be able to transfer out of his heat race. But 20th today put him in the last chance qualifier.
Well, I mean, Chad Reed's expected to get better lap time than 20th. Also, here's something that just came to mind. Let's rewind 20 years ago into the mid-90s whenever there was daytime qualifying racing. And,
Yes.
and that's how they sifted through the riders into the night show. And then you went in. So you rode practice, and I believe you only got one 20-minute practice session.
If that long.
If that long.
Yeah.
Okay, so we went from practice into daytime qualifying. And then they were short races, probably 4 laps, and they took the top 10 guys from 4 heats, however many there were, and then that was the night show. And then the night show, both classes, heats, semis, mains. And there were guys that raced both classes.
Yep.
So now that I've thought about that, no excuses whatsoever for anyone. That you can't be too tired. Whenever Brian Stone in 2002 raced both 250 and 450, or 125 and 250, both classes. It would have been 99, 2000, whenever he did it last. But the point is,
Fair enough.
there's plenty of time or there used to be plenty of time to race both classes. And, but was it a 2-day format race back then, Mike? Or was it all done
No.
in one single day?
It was all done in one single day, as I recall, because going to St. Louis, we would leave early hours of the morning because practice would start at like 9 a.m., as I recall.
Yeah.
And you could watch all the daytime qualifying. We're taking a look on the screen here. Adam Cianciarulo taking a helmet cam. And once again, the dirt here in Anaheim starting to rut up. This is from practice earlier today, I'm assuming. Was quite rutted. As you can see, it's holding a lot of moisture in it. Do you think we're going to see a lot of ruts and breakdown tonight? We thought we were going to. Anaheim won. It didn't break down like we thought it was going to. Will it break down tonight?
No, because not only does it have one Supercross race, but also a monster truck race and monster jam race, and then now more laps of dirt bikes on top of it. So no, I think it will be more of a West Coast style Supercross track where it does pack down a little bit. Now I'm going to switch over here to the live timing and get things going and set up for this. Let's go through also, for those that aren't watching live time. Oh, it just popped over. I was going to read you the top 3 from the KTM 50 Junior Championship.
Well, that 30-second board is up now. Our 250 main, number 2, getting set to go. Savacci taking the win in the first one. Craig got second. Oldenburg at third. Cianciarulo and McElrath, your top 5. 30-second board goes sideways. Main event number 2 here from Anaheim, getting set to go and looking for that gate to drop. Off and underway. Into the first turn they go. Who's going to grab that hole shot? Savacci running hard up the inside, but it looks like that's going to be the 40 of Chase Sexton with the early hole shot on that Geico Honda.
I was paying attention to what Justin Hill was doing. And, I mean, he just plainly couldn't get out of the gate very well there, and that's why he is suffering from – and with the shorter races, the worse your start is, the less momentum you're going to be able to carry through the race.
Well, and Joey Savacci working in the wrong direction right now as Sexton now out ahead of him, along with, I believe that is going to be the 59 of Milrod. Oh, Savacci pushing wide. The 59 not able to make the triple. There goes Christian Craig on by. So Craig once again up in the front here in this one. And McElrath out front leading the way. Sexton, the number 2 spot. Savacci in third as they work their way around here for lap number 1.
The live timing is not showing 59. I believe that's Noah McConaughey, but he's Noah.
Cole Martinez.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, there you go. There he is, yeah, on the Husky. That's a good look. I thought it was a white Yamaha. McElrath out front, Sexton 2 seconds behind, Savachi 2.6 behind the leader, followed by Kyle Chisholm in 5th place, who was outside of the top 8 in Moto number 1, now with a good start, sitting 5th. I mean, anything can be done with a 5th place start on that 5150 Yamaha.
Well, and Christian Craig trying to show Savachi a wheel there here in this one. And Chase Sexton, I'm not sure where he finished in main event 1, but he's riding right now phenomenal here in main event number 2. Shane McElrath, though, with a 2.2 second lead. Of course, McElrath went down in main event 1, trying to make it. Oh, look at that. It's Savachi stuffing Chase Sexton right there. But here comes Sexton back up the inside. And now a battle of the Geico Hondas.
So this is a 10-minute plus 1 lap main. We're 2 minutes deep, and the elapsed time, we've got 7.5 minutes remaining.
Well, Christian Craig diving to the inside there, working his way past Chase Sexton now as they work their way back into the big triple section. And now Aaron Plessinger in the number 5 spot. Of course, he started 10th or worse, 11th or worse, I believe. Oh, Chase Sexton goes down. Sexton crabbing with the front wheel, catches up with Plessinger now. See, it's Cirillo going to be right there with a bunch of them all up together. 5 riders all going to be right there together. Now Aaron Plessinger up into the number 4 spot.
One single mistake by one guy in one corner bunched up about 7 riders, and now we've got an absolute freight train from 4th place and beyond. Meanwhile, the top 3 are 4 seconds ahead of 4th place, and those guys are going to run away from this the train that's going through right now.
So right now, the fastest lap on the track is your leader, Shane McElrath, with a 50.6. As of right now, he's the only rider to get down in the 52nd lap range. Joey Savachi in that number 2 spot. His fast lap of 51.1. Christian Craig with a 51.5 and Aaron Plessinger with a 51.6. And look at Cirillo now. Whoa, up and over the triple they go. Plessinger, protecting the line. Cirillo gets caught up in the rear wheel there. Back working their way around right now. The red plate on Aaron Plessinger. Plessinger finished in the 6th place spot. In main event number 1, he is sitting 4th right now, looking to improve here in this one with 6:45 left to go.
I did notice, Mike, as Plessinger comes through this rhythm section here, on the backside of that corner, there's your net protecting the riders from jumping into the tunnel there, but it doesn't follow through on the second half of that corner. And I think that really what they're taking into consideration is safety of whatever's behind there. But as we're seeing, there's far less obstructions and things out on the track.
And with 6:15 left to go right now, Plessinger starting to stretch it out a bit on Adam in that number 5 spot. It's going to be Chase Sexton, number 6 spot, Nicoletti in the 7, Chisholm, Oldenburg, and Hill rounding out your top 10 here in this one. So Justin Hill, another tough run here in this and there. Oh, Plessinger, that inside line after that whoop section seems to be getting a little bit slick. It's like it's hard pack underneath with loose dirt on top. There we're looking at Shane McElrath out front with a 2.9 second lead on Savachi.
McElrath with the purple and gray Troy Lee gear, sporting yellow gloves. Really good looking setup. Meanwhile, he's got the standard blue and orange Alpine Star boots, worth mentioning just because I like the way that looks. Polka dot is a neat flavor, and I'm glad to see that such a loud color can be out front.
If I'm not mistaken, Jeff, in main event number 1, he wore the opposite. He wore a gray jersey, purple pants, if I'm not mistaken.
If you're not mistaken, then that's one of the coolest things I think I've ever heard.
Well, then let's pretend I'm not mistaken. 5 minutes left to go. McElrath, Savachi, Craig, Plessinger up at the number 4 spot. Cirillo in that number 5 spot right now. Fast lap on the track, still going to be your leader. However, Savachi now with a 50.8 that last time by with 5 minutes left to go here in this one.
Chisholm, who I mentioned, was in 5th earlier, now setting 9th, falling back a few places, 4.5 minutes to go. Behind him, Hill still in 10th, Melross. Harrison, who was up front towards the top 10, now setting outside of the top 10 in 12th, followed by Martinez, Taft, Marquier, Starling, and so down the list.
Now, the thing we have to talk about there, we saw a pass from the 52 of Oldenburg on Nicoletti. The thing we have to talk about Justin Hill, he's sitting in 10th, but his teammate on that same bike, Philip Nicoletti, sitting in 7th. How does that affect your confidence if you're Justin Hill, the defending champion?
Especially whenever Nicoletti is riding with broken ribs. And Hill has, as far as we know, no physical ailment. Yeah, Yeah, I think that whenever your teammates with somebody like Nicoletti, that would be a hard situation to be in, knowing that Phil's the quote unquote lesser rider. But I mean, Hill is catching up now. The only rider they have between them on that 5150 Yamaha is Kyle Chisholm, the old man from Florida.
Well, McElrath right now out front still. 3.2 second lead on Savachi. Craig in the number 3 spot. Plessinger in the 4 spot. Your top 4 or 5 riders all starting to spread themselves out a bit. Here we're looking at Justin Hill trying to make the pass on Chisholm. And Hill going to try and set him up, dive to the inside right here, and he's got it. So Justin Hill will now be chasing down his teammate Nicoletti as they work their way up into that number 6 and, nope, I take that back, 8 and 9 spot with 3:25 left to go here in this one.
8 laps in, and the gap from first to fifth is 10 seconds. So you're talking a little over 2 seconds faster. I actually don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to do the math on the fly, and it is not working. Mike, back to you.
Russ, something as you were mentioning all that, throwing out numbers, our 250 class riders, they're used to a 15-minute main, and that is it. These guys now, we've got a 10-minute main. Their first main was 6 minutes, so there's 15 right there. Now they've got another main on top of that. So the 250 riders, I think main event number 3, we're going to see fitness being a much larger part in this race tonight for the overall position than maybe the 450 class.
I would expect, honestly, the results to be more stretched out in the 250 class than in the 450 class because the talent pool is not quite as deep, given that we are seeing half of the national caliber riders, the other half watching, hopefully, the Over the Bars race companion feed from home. Meanwhile, this half is racing on the West Coast here in Anaheim, which, just as you know, fun fact about Anaheim Angel Stadium. Oh, we've got quite the bottling up here. Sexton must have gone down, and now Sexton, Chisholm, Hill, and 63, who is Hayden Melross, all have bottled together. Quite the group of riders to see battling it out with a minute 50 to go.
Well, that's going to be the second mistake of this race that Sexton's made to bottle up a group of riders as he was up front early on, bottled up the front runners, and another mistake. We'll see if they take a replay and show exactly what happened to him. But Justin Hill now starting to pick up the pace with a minute 30 left in this one as he is chasing down Sexton. Sexton in that number 8 spot, Hill still in the number 9 spot. So that's going to move everybody up that was ahead of Sexton there.
Just like in the 450 first main, we saw guys battling, in the middle of the pack very tightly together while Seeley was, proverbially walking away with it. So what I was getting ready to say about Angel Stadium here is that there are 2 Panda Express locations in the concourse level of Anaheim Angel Stadium, and they do charge the same prices at those Panda Expresses. So should you ever go to this race, look to get some beautiful Chinese food from Panda Express. Meanwhile, McElrath out front, 45 seconds remaining before the white flag, so he's going to take the 2-lap card here, getting around that corner nicely. Savachi 3.7 seconds behind him.
Christian Craig still sitting in the number 3 spot. Another fantastic run for Craig. He finished in the number 2 spot last time. So if it were to finish up the way it sits right now, he's going to have a 2-3. And as you mentioned, without winning a main event tonight, you could still win that overall. So Christian Craig setting himself up for a possible overall win tonight here for A2.
Well, let's see. McElrath with 5 in the first race. So he currently, as they run, holds 6 points. Meanwhile, Savachi with a 1-2 would have 2. Craig with a 2-3 would have 5. So McElrath still, if they finish how they run, would be setting 3rd overall going into the final race, which will be the tiebreaker.
And we're still looking at Justin Hill with 2 laps to go as he chases down Chase Sexton. Oh, Hill with a mistake there. Hits that outside tough block. Melross now going to try and close that gap up on him here as the white flag coming out this time around. Hill working his way through the whoop section right now. Chase Sexton starting to stretch it out just a bit. Your front runners all spread out quite a bit here in this one as McElrath with the 4-second lead over Savachi. Savachi about a 1.5 seconds over Craig. And there we're looking at Christian Craig right there trying to close the gap up on Savatgy, but I don't know that there's going to be enough time for him to go from third to second here in this one.
That triangular section, which is the third section on the track in the timing and scoring keeping, seems to be a spot that has created a lot of drama, and it is a bottleneck section.
Well, the thing about it, it looks awkward, and I can only imagine when you're riding, a lot of things from an outsider's point of view may not look that gnarly or that awkward, but when you're riding, just the slightest bobble I know could feel terrible. But so that checkered flag coming out here in this one. Shane McElrath with the win here in main event number 2. So we'll do a little adding on our end here. Savatgy going to come around for second. Christian Craig third. Aaron Plessinger taking over that fourth place spot. And it looks like Adam C. and Cyril going to round out your top 5 in this one. So not a whole lot of excitement here in this one for main event number 2. And I was mistaken, I'm guessing, on McElrath's flip-flop of colors because he's still got dirt on his left shoulder, which I think is from main event number 1 when he went down. So he did, in fact, Jeff, have that same gear on.
So we're going to tally up some points here, and major key alert is that my beautiful handwriting here that will be the official scorekeeping with my pink Fandango pin brought to you by Bic, I would not be able to add these points together correctly with a good firm grip. Oh, here it is as it is. Savatgy with a 1-2, third, or 3 points. Craig with a 2-3, 5 points. McElrath with a 5-1, 6 points. Cianciarillo setting in fourth with a 5-4. Probably the Oldenburg with a 3-6 drops down quite a few places. Now let's go to the TV and see what Shane has to say here.
Be really aggressive on the first lap. I mean, this track's really fast, and it's a good racetrack. I mean, everybody's going fast. The qualifying time is close, and it just felt good to be aggressive the first lap and try and break away. And a start and a good first few laps is going to be what's the key in the third race. And I just feel good. God is good, and we're here ready to fight for it. Sure looks like it. We'll see you in race number 3 in a little bit. Thanks, guys. Let's go down to Juliana Daniel.
All right, as he is coming off the stand there talking, one to think about right now, your red plate holder, your points leader, Aaron Plessinger, sitting right now buried in the pack with the overall finishes. I don't even know. At this point, he is out of the running for the win overall tonight.
Practically, yeah. Plessinger currently has 10 points, and your leader, Savatgy, with only 3. So, barring absolute catastrophe, I don't think that Plessinger is going to walk away with an overall here. Now, that's not to say that he won't come away with the points lead, as Plessinger came into the race with 49 points, McElrath with 45, Savatgy with 42. So there are only 3 riders, Plessinger, McElrath, and Savatgy, in the 40-point range. Anything can happen here. Obviously, we throw in that third moto factor.
Well, and as we get set to go for our 450 race, we're going to head back over here to our Facebook. We'll check out some of the comments here. Let's see here.
So Michael Doherty said, you guys have like 20-second delay. All I did was pause my live TV. Great job, guys. Again, those that are just joining us, something that we notate every time that every race happens at every race and there's no action. The 30-second card is going to be shown at some point on the TV. As soon as you see it, press pause. As soon as we notate it, announce, oh, and the 30-second card is up, Mike says that, push play. Then we are perfectly synced, audio and TV, and you should only have to do that one time if you have not already. Okay, so also I was getting ready to say earlier whenever we started having our audio difficulties, and hopefully this doesn't jinx us, what I wanted to say was if you would like to support the Over the Bars podcast and the Race Companion series here, go to patreon.com/over the bars and become a patron pledge today. Our current patrons are people that have pledged, well, let me just first say, to become a corporate sponsor, which you get first mention on all of our shows. We thank you right away. That's Donnell's Bar to Bar, Bike Works, and Darttown Arena. So obviously that's a simple $25 gets you in the door, gets your business out there. How many people are going to hear about your business? Well, as of Tuesday of this week, last week's live feeds had an over combined 60,000 people reached. So is the OTB podcast paying off? Yes. Let me just do a quick little bit of math here. So I'm going to divide.
Is this going to be better than your math was earlier?
Yes. I'm going to do $25 divided by 60,000 reach equals. All right. That is, let's go tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. So that is 4 10,000ths of a penny
That's pretty small.
per reach. That's a pretty small investment to reach that many people. So, of course, thank you to those fine individuals and companies that are have partnered with us. Also, part of the deal is you get some of our sticker packs that go out. For example, we had a set that had the Over the Bars podcast logo, and then it said Donnell Suzuki and Bar to Bar MX. And these are great little stickers that you can jazz up your dresser, your mirror, your truck,
Your
dash. Yeah, people put stickers on their mirrors
Really?
at their house. Yeah, man. Don't you have stickers on your mirror?
No, I can't say that I do.
Well, that's on you.
Okay.
Just neat little stickers that you can place all over the place to kind of jazz things up, liven things up. Also, continuing on, our key pledges are Corey Francis, Dylan Diornellis, Jesse Anderson, shout out Jesse Anderson, Christopher McKillop, Justin Jones, and Dan Bax. We appreciate all of you greatly. We could not make this happen without you. I wish you guys could be here with us, watching the races with us, right here behind us, and adding your input. But unfortunately, none of you are here. Therefore, you get to join us here on the OTB Live on Facebook Race Companion. If you think this is a cool deal, go to patreon.com/overthebars and pledge a couple bucks to us. You can get in for as little as $5 and we mail you a sticker pack. So speaking of those sticker packs, if you will simply push that share button, and I hate to sound mundane for those that have been watching with us.
The share button is, I think, right here.
Yep. So over there, push the share button. OTB original logo sticker. OTB UFO style sticker. Over the Bars, We Talk Shit, PC Race Team sticker, and Foxside sticker all comes included. All you have to do is push the share button, and that will enter you into the possible winnings of an Over the Bars sticker pack.
For your mirror.
That's right. So Jesse Anderson says that he's going to put them on his RC pit box, and let's see. John Bolton says that he's going to put them at the on his toolbox for sure. Michael Doherty, helmet, bike, absolutely. So it looks like guys are getting warmed up here. Haven't quite taken the coats off. Couple minutes now. So I actually had a chance, and this is not just another Fox Racing plug, but I had a chance to check out the new Fox V3 that has the magnetic visor on it. It's a very cool new technology, and it's cool to see that Fox is just trying something new. Obviously, every type of technology is going to have any instance where it's like, I don't know about that. Example given, roll-offs, and that. God damn it! How many times do we have to see this crash?
Ugh.
Man, I hate seeing that. It's just.
At what point, right there, do you think he knows?
Now
he knows.
There he knows. Yeah, when he lets
knows.
go.
Look, his shorts are already brown.
Ugh. As you can see,
you were talking about the magnetic visor.
Yep, popped off there.
It popped off at Anaheim 1, and he did not go down. Do we know, how hard is it to pop off the magnetic visor?
It takes a pretty good blow. I think that a gigantic rock or something that's being roosted could probably take it off.
Okay.
But I would almost rather it get blown off in the middle of the race than have a broken visor. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
Now, what would be really creative is if it was magnetic on the sides, but then still had one traditional mount in the middle. I'd like to see that. So then it doesn't bust all the way off. So
Okay.
the bikes have the guys have started the bikes up, and Roxon doing his typical
He's back.
German hardcore Swedish house mafia pump up thing that he does there of slapping himself and screaming. I like that.
But we didn't see that from him in the first round, and we questioned that with his wrist, whether how he was going to pound the handlebars. We're kind of joking, but not joking. That to me could be a sign of the confidence that he now has in that arm.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe a little less clapping it together and a little more, chopping it
A little
on
home slicing?
Yeah, a little home slicing on the
I would agree.
on the bar pad there.
Getting set to go here for 450 main event number 2. Of course, we saw Cole Seeley take the win in moto number 1. Main event number 1. Roxon there, you see him on the line. And a cool story, if you follow Roxon on Instagram, his helmet, 30-second board, is up now. If you see Roxon on Instagram, his helmet this weekend has a bunch of names on it. Those are all the people that got him back on the bike riding. He wanted to do kind of a dedication to them. So it's got random names all over it, and that's what that is. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Getting set to go, our running order from the last one was Seeley, Brayton, Baggett, Pike, Tomac, Grant, Anderson, Barsha, Moscan, Webb. Roxon finished 11th in main event number 1. We'll see what he's got here in main event number 2. Looking for that gate to drop now here in main event number 2 for our 450 class. And that gate drops. We're off and underway. Into the first turn they go, running up the inside. Look at Tomac. Tomac coming out of nowhere, but it looks like it's going to be the 55 of Vince Freezy. Freeze, we saw him go down in main event number 1, and he is out front. We talked about him early on. Tomac in the number 2 spot, Baggett in the 3.
And Freeze could really put the hammer down and burn a couple laps. Very quick pace here.
He's down.
He tosses it away, and it's in that bottleneck triangle section that's going to really create a lot of havoc for the guys behind them.
That's that corner we've seen a lot of guys having trouble with. Chase Sexton had the trouble in the 250 class. That was also where we saw somebody else go down there as well. But Eli Tomac out front here in this one. Look who's in number 2 spot. Justin Brayton once again. There's our main event 1 winner of Cole Seeley. Now the question is going to be, as they come around to timing and scoring, where is the rest of our front running guys?
Well, it appears that the number 94 Honda got another bad start, probably banged around with some of those guys that went down with Freeze there. Anderson, also your points leader, sitting in 10th. Muscan in 12th, Tickle in 13th. A lot of big names towards the back. Roxon, 16th place.
Wow.
Wilson right behind him in 17th. So again, it's total absolute plinko as to where the guys are placed as they run off the tight start.
Well, these Triple Crown events, obviously we got 3 of them this year, but this could really shake things up for the overall. As Roxon's sitting 15th, I mean, he's in title contention, but this could entirely change things as he's looking at a potential 8th, 9th, 10th overall tonight.
Conversely, Anderson and Roxon not really doing too well so far with these shorter mains. However, last weekend, both Tomac and Muscan both of them DNS'd. So, this could add a little bit of a field leveler.
And there we see Chad Reed. He did not have a good day in timed qualifying. However, right now he's battling with our points leader, Anderson. He looks over his shoulder there. Anderson trying to get by him. He's got Cooper Webb behind him and Malcolm Stewart. And there goes Anderson now to the inside, getting by Reed. Here goes Cooper Webb. Webb makes the pass as well. Oh, and a rider going down. That was, I believe, is that Blake Baggett?
Yes, it is. Number 4 on the Rocky Mountain ATV MC KTM.
So Blake Baggett going down there. That was a weird spot to go down, too. The way his bike was like, oh, Justin Barsha off the track. He bumps the side tough blocks. He's back on the track now behind Reed. Here comes Malcolm Stewart. Wow, what a turn of events here. And Barsha back on the track. He bam-bams his way through Reed. Reed unable to do the finish line now. Unbelievable here in this one.
Did I miss something? Was that a retaliatory move against Reed? I don't think that Reed, forced Barsha off the track by any means. That almost seemed like a bit of a takeout move against Reed when it wasn't necessarily called for. Maybe we can get the replay to come back on what happened to Barsha there. But again, we've got a lot of guys that are almost exact same speed. top 12 qualified within 3/4 of a second of each other. And this is no surprise to see these guys racing this closely together, arena cross style.
Well, and there's the two Red Bull KTMs and Marvin Musquin, obviously coming off that injury, followed up by Brock Tickle. They're coming up on the 27. Malcolm Stewart still out there on that number 27. JGR Suzuki riding the Auto Trader machine. 8:30 left to go in this one. Tomac is out front with a 1.5-second lead over Cole Seeley. Justin Brayton still sitting in third. Josh Grant in fourth, and Weston Pike in fifth. Look at this battle now between Josh Grant and Justin Brayton. Josh Grant trying to put the pressure on Brayton for a top 3 finish here in main event number 2.
I say that this is no fluke for Brayton. I don't think that Brayton for a long time was a go to the heat, not qualify, go to the semi, qualify. So he's actually used to racing 3 times in a night, whereas some of these other guys typically get straight into the main in the standard racing format from the first heat. So this is nothing new to Justin Brayton, so it's no surprise again to see him having success here in these multiple main style races.
Well, Eli Tomac out front. Look at Josh Grant. Oh, they took the screen away. And now Roxon battling with Reed. And Roxon a little bit different line through that rhythm section there. Reed staying ahead of him right now with 7:30 left to go. Reed and Roxon 12th and 13th. Definitely not where we expect either one of these riders, especially Ken Roxon, who was knocking on the door, has been knocking on the door of a race win this season.
And again, perhaps, this race is a bit of a head case for him, considering what he went through from this. You know what? Okay, those tough blocks on the inside there, I just got to say, there's something about them that are squirrely. The riders keep making contact with them, and it's kind of a catch-22. The Feld track crew can't nail them down with PVC like they do on some of those berm backsides. So the tough blocks keep getting pegged and rolling down to the inside, rolling out into the track. Kind of makes for a bit of a hazard, but it's a lose-lose situation. They need to have some different type of track marker there that prevents track cutting and isn't going to roll out into the race surface.
Well, and here comes Jason Anderson up the inside of Weston Pike. Look at Anderson charging up the inside there. He gets by him. Now Weston Pike, will see if he retaliates here. No, Weston Pike not quite close enough. So Jason Anderson now up into the number 5 spot. He's going to be chasing down Brayton for that 4 spot. Of course, Anderson with the red plate, your points leader after Houston, coming onto that rhythm section, into the whoop section now. And Jeff, you were talking about the track this week being more West Coast-like than we saw it in Anaheim 1. And I would have to say, I would agree, the track looking rather slick in a lot of these spots for these riders.
And a lot of these obstacles are very synonymous
with...
Wow, I did not see Weston Pike coming back to make the pass on Anderson there. That's kind of out of... let me say, I'm not surprised by that. What I'm surprised by is that Pike has something left in the tank after, 6 minutes, 7 minutes of racing, and he's passing our points leader, Jason Anderson, and he just makes the pass on Justin Brayton. Pike now up into 4th position.
Wow, so Weston Pike on the move here. Anderson goes by Brayton now. So Anderson right now, he's got his sights set on Weston Pike, and I tell you what, like you said, Weston Pike, I fully expected after that pass that was going to be the last we would see of him with Anderson, but he is on a move right now up into the number 4 spot. He is less than 2 seconds back from Josh Grant in the number 3 spot. Seeley still in second. Tomac out front leading the way here in this one. And Anderson, as it sits right now, I'm not sure where he finished in main event number 1 off the top of my head, but he's looking to salvage as many points and keep that red plate best that he can. As we look at the full running lineup, it's Tomac, Seeley, Grant, Pike, and Anderson, your top 5. Brayton, Barsha, Webb, Stewart, and Musquin, your top 10. Roxon is still sitting in 12th.
Meanwhile, Dean Wilson also coming back for his first, or after missing last weekend, in 14th. Jeremy Martin not living...
Oh, Weston Pike goes down!
That corner, there's something about it coming into it that has... it must have some type of ridge or lip on the inside that is making the front end push out and pop. Now, mind you, the front end is unloading as soon as you hit the face of that hip. The bottom end... the front end bottoms out. Then as the actual rut begins, the front end unloads and the rear end is still squatted. So to keep the front end into that rut is going to be a bit of a task and takes a special technique that I don't even know what to do in that section. But obviously, Tomac, Seeley, and Grant quite have it figured out.
Well, that whole section seems awkward to me. That's the start of the same section. As they're coming out of it, they're hitting those tough blocks. So as you can see, Tomac and Seeley now 1.7 seconds apart as we look back deeper in the field there in this one. And there's the 51 of Justin Barcia. Of course, Barcia off to a bit of a rough start, jumped off the side of that triple. He has worked his way up into the top 5 now as he gets by Brayton, sets his sights on Anderson now. So these longer mains, we're starting to see our top running guys start to work their way up there. I think main event number 3 is going to be back to what we would consider a normal running for these guys.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, it would be pretty regular to see Tomac, Seeley, and Grant in the top 3 at any given Monster Energy Supercross. Obviously, no more Dungey. Roxon in 12th, that's a bit of a surprise. Reed in 17th. So, yeah, a lot of the bigger names are further back, but this is pretty standard towards, like, let's say, the beginning of a main event in standard format.
Well, I think the thing about Roxon is maybe off the start a 12th place finish, but we've been out there and he hasn't really advanced whatsoever here in this one. And Blake Baggett, who we saw go down, is actually right behind him now. And taking a replay here, this is Justin Barcia making the pass on Brayton as he worked his way up into that top 5 spot right now. So Justin Barcia on the borrowed ride, the Monster Energy Yamaha, trying to secure himself a spot on that team. And I would have to say, as a guessing man with the results he's been putting in, I think he's probably got himself a ride for Yamaha for at least the remainder of the Supercross season, I would think.
Well, you can think in one hand and shit in the other, and I'll tell you which one fills up faster, especially whenever it comes up. The matter is of who's going to ride what. Now, I'll tell you what's looking pretty cool here is Seeley only 1 second even behind Tomac. No slouch, pressuring Tomac. Tomac could have a full come apart, as he's known to do. With a minute 55 remaining in the race, now down to half of a second. Grant and Anderson battling out for the 3rd place position, 6.5 seconds behind. So it's up to these two to maintain this race lead. They can't take each other out. They've got to maintain this lead. Seeley obviously sitting very well. Even if he doesn't win this race, which he wants to, he's a racer. Seeley wants to win this race, but he does not have to going into the next race. Obviously a 1-2, much better than Tomac's if he goes his top, what did he get, 5th in the first race? So, I mean, he's sitting much better than Tomac. He doesn't have to pass Tomac, but looking at Seeley's lap times, Seeley's best lap was a 50.7 in the 7th lap, and we're currently on lap number 13, so further into the race, Seeley showing to be a better timed rider.
Well, here comes Seeley now with 55 seconds left to go, so they're going to cross the line. This time they should be getting the white flag next time around. And if you're watching the Fox Sports 1 broadcast right now, on the right side of the screen, you got the battle between Josh Grant and Jason Anderson. I tell you what, Grant has been putting in a fantastic ride tonight. Anderson trying to get by him, but not able to make it happen. Tomac out front leading the way here. Seeley in that number 2 spot. Seeley's dropped back about a bike length as they work their way up and over that big triple through the center section. Anderson with the same. Once again, they'll be hitting the white flag. Here comes that awkward section right here. As you can see, Seeley trying to find the rut there, and they've taken out, looks like, that tough block that, Seeley with a big mistake. Looked like possibly hitting neutral.
He either hit neutral or stalled the bike for a quick moment there, judging by how his body weight went over the front end of the bike.
Up and over the triple. Now we're looking at Josh Grant and Jason Anderson. That's going to be our closest battle as they work their way through the rhythm section. And, Jeff, they're going to go again as they've crossed the line before time has run out. So the white flag will now be this time around as they come back here. Josh Grant in that number 3 spot, Anderson in the 4, Barcia still in the 5. Barcia is going to be 4 seconds back. So battle to watch right now between these two riders as we'll be getting the white flag this time around. Anderson to the inside. Steps up, steps off. He's going to try and set him up, dive to the inside in this one, and he's got him. Oh, stuffed him up in the top.
Yeah, that was a good clean pass. I wouldn't call it overly aggressive. Definitely an aggressive pass. And then he, checked up, cut inside, and then maintained the position in the following corner in case Grant wanted to retaliate. But I think Grant's got the bigger picture in mind right now.
Up and over that triple they go right now. Anderson, we saw him cut across all those ruts there, and it looked like Grant was going to close back up on him. But as you mentioned there, Anderson starting to stretch it out a bit. White flag this time around. Tomac and Seeley now 2.3 seconds apart, and it's going to be Barcia still in that number 5 spot. Roxon still sitting in 12th here in this one.
Brock Tickle coming back into 13th after having a pretty bad crash in that first main. Right now, we're sitting at 15 laps, so the race is going to go 16 laps total. The last one was 11 or 12 laps, so that extra couple minutes, adding in a few laps. The top few riders still running in mid to high 50-second lap times, which are standard for what they've been racing all day. Some of the lap times slowly starting to drop down as the track deteriorates.
I'll be anxious to see the overall points after two main events. That checkered flag is out now. Eli Tomac, your winner of main event number 2. Cole Seeley, your winner of main event number 1, comes in second. And Jason Anderson, your points leader coming into this round, finishes up in that number 3 spot.
I like that Anderson turned around and gave Grant a thumbs up there. That was good, clean racing between the two of them. They didn't take it personally. That's good to see.
Well, Eli Tomac looks like he feels pretty good after that one. One of those riders that questioned coming into this one obviously missed the first 2 rounds, so he's out of Jeff, from a statistical standpoint, for Tomac to win this championship, it would take a miracle of good and bad things to happen. Good for him, bad for others. But this Triple Crown format, this could be the kind of thing that really helps him if he performs the way he needs to at these races.
Well, there's 3 of them total, and should things shake up like this, here we go. So Seeley with a 1-2 for 3, Tomac 5-1 for 6th, Brayton 2-6 for 8. Anderson 7-3 for 10, tied with Grant 6-4 for 10. Anderson with the better finish in the second moto for 10 points. Eli's going to come on here and give his 2 cents.
Obviously way better than last week. It was a bummer the way we had to take those first 2 races with the crash at Anaheim 1, and then just trying to tough it out at Houston. Wasn't able to do it, and even ride safely. So glad to be back out here. It just feels like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Shoulder has good strength now, and trying to get ready for this third main here at the Triple Crown.
A hard-fought battle with Cole Seeley. You end up winning it by 2.6 seconds. We'll see you a little later.
Thanks.
Well, interesting enough, out of the top 10 right now for the overall results, Ken Roczen and Marvin Musquin sitting in 10th.
Wow. That's perhaps Musquin feeling the after effects of his crash in the whoops last weekend more so than Tomac was from his slam.
Well, and the thing that I find interesting about the whole situation, as far as Roczen goes, is there something wrong? I'd like to see an interview with Roczen. I'd like to see what is going on exactly. Is the arm? Is it something else? What is it for Roczen?
Perhaps it's simply just nerves of wanting to make it out alive.
That was Anaheim 2. This is where last year.
Yes.
So is he just riding through it?
It could easily be. I mean, obviously, a lot of his life changed after this race last year. That's like if I went back, obviously, okay, so after I broke my leg in Iowa, I was borderline superstitious about just racing in Iowa in general. Even though the track that I went to was like a one-off race that I broke my leg at, I was still kind of less than excited to go race in Iowa for quite a while. For years, I just didn't go north.
Interesting concept.
Well, it stays with you.
It's colder up there. Your bones are more brittle.
Absolutely. That's I would definitely blame the weather.
Very possible. Jumping over to Facebook, Jesse Roy Anderson says, Roczen took off the yellow gear. Superstition, ?
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. Well, also, mind you, last year he was wearing shift gear. This year he's wearing Fox. So
it did look very similar.
It is fairly similar. That's like for a long time, I didn't wear any blue gear whatsoever. Now I have gear with blue on it, because the last time that I got hurt, I was not wearing blue gear. And, I always thought, I only get hurt if I wear blue gear. And so I just never wore blue for 10 years or so. And then whenever I hurt my shoulder, I realized, hey, I wasn't wearing blue gear.
So the blue gear? What if you would have worn blue gear in Iowa?
I did.
Oh. That's the worst combination.
Yeah, no, I wrecked.
Racing in Iowa with blue gear.
Never again.
Wow, that's rough.
Actually, I'd do it again tomorrow. Wait, I already did. Yeah, I wore that throwback shift stuff last year at the Loretta qualifier at Riverside Raceway.
Okay, there you go. Coming up next, going to be main event number 3 for our 250 class, the longest of the mains. Who do you expect to see out front in this one? Is this a chance for Justin Hill to start in the back where he's been starting all night and work his way up, or who do you think is going to be out in front in this one?
I think that Hill needs to get a good start if he's going to do anything of any worth in his perspective. And the longer races, he's already struggling with because they've talked about him getting arm pump, excessive amounts of arm pump. Going down the list of our guys, Plessinger, McElrath, Savachi, Sensarillo. I mean, if I was going to pick a name, it'd be one of those 4 of guys that are going to do well in the longer main. Because that's what they train for all year long. They don't train for these short sprints. Those are just a byproduct of having, really good conditioning.
Do you feel if the Triple Crown format carries on, let's say for 2019 or beyond that, to every round, is training for these guys going to change?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know how it wouldn't. The guys that train with Eldon Baker, they do race simulation formats, like race day formats. So would it change? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they'd have to switch towards doing a 4, 8, and 12. 8, 12, and 16-minute motos.
So that brings me to the point of the reason for this format change is to try and make the racing more exciting, change things up, that kind of thing. If everybody trains for this style of racing, are we not going to see the same thing that we see with the regular style format, just 3 times a night?
Perhaps. I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's that good of an idea in the 250 class because we're at half weight.
Yeah.
450 class, all the hitters are in there. I don't know. I'm just watching this myself, and I'm sure that everyone that's watching at home is kind of. I'm kind of like, okay, can we get on with the. Let's get back to the racing. I mean, that's kind of the whole point. Like you brought up, it's still a 3-hour block, and we've got more racing of the top guys, which is great. And we're seeing good racing, especially in the 450 class. But on the other hand, I'm ready for the next 250 race.
And there's less overall numbers of races too. We're watching 6 races tonight over a 3-hour period, whereas you're looking at 9, 10 races. Otherwise, you're looking at, we've got 4 heat races, 2 last chances, and 2 mains normally. So we're looking at 8 races. So we're missing a couple races. Not to mention, like you say, it seems to be kind of a slow-moving show.
Yeah.
It's an action movie that has intense action followed by nothing.
Yeah. No plot. Just commercials and flamethrowers. Girls with flamethrowers. I mean, hey, I like a good girl with a flamethrower. But let's try. Let's see if we've got any new comments here. No, not quite.
Scott Gebkin joined us, Innovative MX. Of course, Scott last week co-hosting alongside of Jeff Crutcher here. I was out of contention. Scott did a fantastic job for Houston of Innovative MX training.
How did you went full screen on this? Or you push play? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Nope.
Wow. Well, great. Yeah. Scott. Yes. Hello, Scott. Check out if you did not check or if you did not watch last weekend's episode, it's obviously archived here and then archived on the Over the Bars iTunes and Over the Bars Stitcher. It's kind of all wrapped in together. Whatever your preferred format of podcast listening is, you can simply go to there to listen. So as we do look here at the live timing, Ken Roxon with a 51.5 fastest lap. Meanwhile, best lap by Tomac, 50.5. So Roxon
1 second.
1 second off of the winning pace. In his, let's see, in that bracket around the same time would be Malcolm Stewart.
Brock Tickle.
Yeah, it's kind of a
Marvin Musquin. Well, that was kind of expected, but definitely a rough night for Ken Roxon for sure. Another one that I think we have to point out is Cooper Webb, a 7th in that one. Webb has been really off the pace, I would say, all of last year and this year. I mean, he had brief moments, but a 7th overall in this one, I think, is probably the best that he's finished so far. The closest he's finished to Barcia.
Okay, here's a thought project. Freeze frame this screen right here of the main event 2 results and call that the main at a regular race. So the podium would be Tomac, Seeley, Anderson.
That seems normal.
Yeah, it does seem very normal, but then you start to go further back and see some of those names, and it does kind of seem out of order almost.
I'm also curious, as you mentioned, Barcia with his move that he put on Chad Reed, and where did Chad Reed end up in that race? He ended up back in 17th.
Wow.
But I'd be curious to see exactly where that came from. Good to see Dean Wilson back, another 14th there for him. Obviously not where he wanted to finish, but he did want to be out on the track, I'm sure. So
see if you can go to the vent tab up there at the top, further up in the actual tabs, Mike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then see if there's a combined starting event. Oh, yeah, there we go. Let's see. Now, let's see. Is the starting based off of... Okay, interesting. Okay. So Tomac will get first gate pick. Meanwhile, Seeley holds the overall score lead. So that I did not realize that. So going into main event number 3, again, Tomac will get the first gate pick. So it's not based off of who has the lowest points. It's based off of who finished best in the previous race.
Trying to see if we can find ourselves a combined.
It doesn't appear to be one.
No.
Who won the KTM Junior race? Let's
take a look.
Yeah, provisional results there. Seth Dennis from Port St. Lucie, Florida, made the trek all the way over. Did 3 laps, and his fastest lap time was 1:23. That'd probably be about what my lap time was.
Brandon Eade got second. Let's see, Talon Staggs third. I would say either Seth or Evan Schultz, who Evan finished in the number 9 spot from Canada. I would say either one of those riders had quite... I don't know where Merritt, British Columbia, Canada is compared to Anaheim.
Conversely, you have Tucker Zimmerman out of New Hartford, New York.
Oh.
I'd say that would probably be...
Yes.
Yeah, so Zimmerman, the furthest away. Let's see, race time 4 minutes, margin of victory 8 seconds. That's a nice. Oh wow, best qualifier Maggie Walser finished last place. So the stud coming in, the girl from Washington, actually ended up DNFing the race. That's too bad. Seth Dennis pulled the whole shot and led all 3 laps also. Good to see that. I'd like to, wouldn't it be cool if you could just fast forward really quickly and see how many of these riders end up in Supercross in 15 years?
I do believe, I think they've said Dungey was one of the junior
Yes,
riders.
he was. Yep.
I don't know. I don't think Villapoto ever was.
I was not either. So I mean, obviously, with all of my accolades and Supercross championships, and again, I pointed this out last weekend that Scott and I both had the same number of main event wins as Tomac this year, and I have the same number of Supercross championships as Justin Brayton, and I'm not afraid to remind people of that, and
those are strong stats. I never thought about that.
Yeah,
yeah. Wow.
Well, I mean, I really don't like to flash it around and be flamboyant with my accolades. The stats are there. You can look them up in the books.
Way down in the books.
Way, way down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
way down in the
absolutely.
books. Let's head over here to our OTB podcast comment section, if I can get to it. Somehow we got off of it.
So some of these people are saying no big come behinds are probably very likely. That could be true. I don't. Yeah. Well, let's see. Plessinger did his epic come behind in 15 minutes plus a lap, and that last race was just 16 minutes. So it could be done.
Could be done. Derek Tuning joining us. He says the time between motos is brutal. I do enjoy the moto format though. I'm all with the brutal in between.
Yeah, and unlike the television broadcast team, because we are just hammering straight through live, we just have to sit here and bullshit between the
With our
races.
sticker. That's what we do.
Yeah, with our sticker pack, OTB sticker pack, press the share button to be qualified for a OTB sticker pack free that we will send you, and you can take your little sticker and put it on your drink mug here that I got.
Or your mirror.
Or your mirror, yep. As you can see, this is one of the finer editions of the OTB stickers. It's what is known as a full CMYK print. That is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Michael came up with the colors on that one. Sorry if you can hear him urinating in the background. He's got a pretty big, well, how do I say it? Michael's well equipped, so he's got a very thorough stream, and it's, I swear I've heard that from a quarter mile down the block. So I want to go to the comments now and just do a little scrolling and see what's going on here. See what some of our fans are saying. All 26 of you currently watching. Gebkin asked, are they getting sight laps before each main? I don't know. I don't think that they are.
I disagree. I do believe they are.
Oh, they are.
I believe so.
Okay.
My question. This brings a good question. Track maintenance. What are they doing for track maintenance?
I did notice that they are doing little bits and pieces of track maintenance. There's Seth Dennis right there. He looks like a pro rider yet to be. Further down in, yeah, Mike, we're getting a lot of comments that both you and I need to be wearing short shorts. So I already have mine on. We're going to get you installed with some now.
Okay.
So let's talk about what you have coming up for. Okay, so just FYI, next weekend, y'all, I have a work function at FedEx in St. Louis. So I'm out, and then Mike is going RC car racing or announcing.
We are actually hosting an event. So I'm playing promoter next weekend.
Oh, okay.
So I'm announcing and hosting the event. If you're into RC cars and you're in the Kansas City area, the 2018 Off-Road Jam will be taking place at Fastlane Raceway in Blue Springs, Missouri. Friday practice, Saturday qualifying, Sunday mains.
Oh, very nice. 3-day event.
3-day event.
That sounds like a motocross race.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so you'll be busy with that, and I'll
Yes.
be doing the FedEx thing. So no race companion for round 4 next weekend, but you'll be able to join us the weekend after that. And then February 26th or 24th, whatever the day is, weekend, I will be in Iowa, and we will skip that weekend also. But from there on out, we plan to do the rest of the races with the race companion. Go ahead.
I just saw a comment that got me thinking.
Okay.
Robin here says, if the training would change to support the 3-moto format, this would have a huge impact on outdoor racing. That's a good point.
Do you think that it would?
I absolutely think it would. I think if riders that are going to be competitive up front in Supercross and outdoors, if they're going to train for the sprint style races for all of Supercross, that short break between Supercross and outdoors to switch over, he's holding back a yawn. He got it?
Got it.
There it is. Okay. I think that short break in there, I think that would be brutal on them. I feel like, unless while training for these short style races, they're also keeping their regular regimen going.
Well, I mean, all three. Well, okay. Well, if you consider both 250 coasts and the 450 racers, they begin training for outdoors well before the Supercross season is over. Because by the time you're in race number 10 plus, even whenever there's 7 races left, your body should be accustomed to the Supercross format, on the weekends. So it's not going to hurt to start riding outdoor style motos after that point. So here's the pre-race report from the Dunge. As we do have our guys lined up, so we're getting closer to the gate drop of the final moto, which all of us are greatly anticipating. As on the outside of the box here, looks like number 902, Killian Aberson, which I believe that is a Munn Racing KTM from Texas. I don't know who some of his other sponsors are. I do note that he is wearing some of that brand new shift gear with the optioned Fox chest protector roost guard on the outside of his jersey. Now that's
Rebel.
I mean,
Real rebel.
He's probably the only one on the line wearing a chest protector on the outside of his jersey. Did you always wore the HRP on the outside, didn't you?
I did. I was an HRP, and then I shift maybe. Maybe I had a shift one at one time.
Yeah.
Hey, it looks like we're getting set to go now. 250, main event number 3, the final main event here for these guys. This is, I believe this is a 12-minute main.
Well, it did just, no, it should be longer than that. It did just say
12 minutes.
Main event number 3, 12 minutes plus a lap. So the last one was 10 plus a lap?
I believe so. It looks like, as you can see, getting set to go, looking for that gate to drop already. And we are off and underway. Main event number 3, the final main here for the Triple Crown for our 250 class. Look at Justin Hill up the inside. The best start all night he's gotten. He comes out, looks like in third. It's going to be Chase Sexton with the whole shot, though, on that Geico Honda. Savachi in the number 2 spot. And there's the 11 of Chisholm. Chisholm jumping up into the number 3 spot.
Chisholm representing the plus 30 class out there. And that triple right there is showing that once that bottleneck happens and things, the top guys that can do that triple separate themselves really quickly from the rest of the pack.
Christian Craig losing a leg there. Looked like he caught his toe. And, Jeff, they did some work. You could see they smoothed out that section where we saw those riders washing the front end out, got rid of the ruts up on top. So that may change things up here in this one as well.
Yeah, we could have another instance of last weekend where, the Kawasaki riders were struggling with the front end, pushing out in those looser conditions. They're set up for more of a tacky type race surface, but as the dirt stays moist and gets slicker as the night goes on, going to see a lot of front end push. A lot of guys bunched up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 riders really tight here together within a second or two.
Well, and Chase Sexton going to be out front here in this one. Savachi in the number 2 spot, Christian Craig in third, Chisholm and Melross in that number 5 spot. So where did Justin Hill fall back to? He's in 8th. That is still better than he has finished so far tonight. As Chase Sexton out front. We saw him out front in main event number 2, but he did have that crash that dropped him back. We'll see if he could stay out front here in this one. He had a season best last weekend in Houston. He's looking for, I should say main event number 3, but overall, I do not think he's anywhere near the front for the overall finish here tonight.
No, Sexton had a couple unfortunate instances, and I mean, he's got nothing to lose in this race, so he should be just absolutely going for it in this final main event here. Savachi, on the other hand, has he's got the lowest score coming in to the final, and again, he needs to race smart here. He does not need to pass for first. 5 points for Savachi, 8 for Craig, 14 for Sensorillo as they run. Now, Sensorillo made a pass, 13 points. So those are going to be your podium finishers if the checkers go right now.
Well, Adam Sensorillo right now trying to close that gap up on Christian Craig. Sensorillo, of course, took that hard crash in practice today, but he's still running top 4 right now with 9:30 left to go. Good battle right now between Chisholm on the 11 and Melross on the 63. They've got Oldenburg behind them there as they work their way around. You see both those riders going for the double-double line instead of triple on and single off. And side by side, they were looking at Sensorillo closing the gap up now on Christian Craig. This race here is going to be Christian Craig. I think his weak race, as he started out front riding phenomenal all night long, but being the longest one, I think we're going to see him have a little bit harder time staying up in the top 3 here in this one than he did in 1 and 2.
And again, as we've seen on social media, his softball of a ankle is going to only become more inflated as the night goes on. There's only so much that you can do with a sprained ankle. So, credit to him for going out and, doing what he can to get the job done, even with a bum ankle.
Well, right now, Chase Sexton has stretched his lead out to 1.2 seconds over Savachi in the number 2 spot. There you see Christian Craig, Cicerillo trying to close the gap up on him. Top 4 riders, a little bit of gap on them, and then behind them, they got the 3 Yamahas battling out of Chisholm in that number 11. And as you can see, Cicerillo, that last time by, lays down the fast lap of the race with a 51.8. So about a 1/10 of a second faster than the other riders' fastest lap times. Cool view right here overhead from the rafters here in Anaheim Angel Stadium.
Meanwhile, Shane McElrath not doing too well. Must have had a terrible start, setting in 8th currently, 7 seconds behind the leaders. So with this finish, he's where he's at, he is factored out of taking the overall, and he's not even on the box. And also Aaron Plessinger behind him. McElrath in 8th, Hill in 9th, Plessinger in 10th. So I think we're going to have ourselves a new points leader coming out. Savachi may easily take over the points lead at the end with coming in with 42, Plessinger coming in with 49. So it'll be tight, but I think we'll have a new points leader.
Well, Christian Craig starting to look over his shoulder now. He knows Adam Cicerillo is closing the gap up on him. To me, when you see a rider doing that, it's a little bit of now they're on the defense mode. Instead of riding offensively, they're riding more to keep the guy behind him instead of move forward. So I think we're going to see Adam Cicerillo make a pass here. Oh, Cicerillo just about losing the front end there. But I think, assuming he can keep it on 2 wheels, I think Cicerillo is going to be making that pass on Christian Craig here before too long. And as you see just ahead of him now, Savachi is only 9/10 of a second. He's closed up on Chase Sexton.
Yeah, Cicerillo, again, he's, sitting in 3rd in points going into the main. And, every single one of these guys, as much as they are racing towards the front, they are thinking about the points. I don't care what they say. It's in the back of their mind. You cannot go out here and race without partially, you're almost like counting cards. You're counting, how do I pass one guy here and he dropped back, and they have the leaderboard out in the middle of the track that the guys will look over this triple. We just saw Cicerillo do it right there. He looked over and looked at the leaderboard to see who was out front.
Well, now we're looking at Shane McElrath as he is buried in the field, trying to get by the 63 and the 52. The 63 of Melross, the 52 of Oldenburg as they come back around right now. Oldenburg up in the number 5 spot. Melross in the 6th spot. Look at Shane McElrath, a great drive through the whoop section there. Dives to the inside, but Melross trying to cut back. Not going to be enough, though. McElrath obviously looking fantastic tonight. Had a rough first main where he went down. Was able to rebound from it. He has now worked his way up in the number 6 spot with 5 minutes, 55 seconds left to go, +2 here in this one. Sexton still out front. Savachi, Craig, Cicerillo, and Oldenburg, your top 5.
So something that I noticed even after the first main, a few of the 450 riders, and then after the second main in the 250 class, a lot of the riders showing up to the gate with brand new rear tires, but used front tires. To give you an idea, that gate is in fact tearing up those tires a little bit more than they would in a standard race. Now, maybe not perhaps someone that would have to go through like a heat and a semi, but now that the semis are gone and it's just straight old school heat LCQ main, the tires are going to last a little bit longer on that format versus here. Now, especially whenever we get to, say, Phoenix or so on and so forth. Go ahead, Mike. What just happened there?
It looked to me like Cicerillo put the move on Christian Craig, but a little bit of contact, it looked like to me, as Craig seemed to be coming back onto the track.
So as I was saying, as we do the West Coast rounds, the tires will fall apart a little bit more. Here we go.
This is that replay here. Cicerillo comes in hot, and a little bit of contact there, but Christian Craig just about going over the berm there. He's back running those. So Adam Cicerillo now up in the number 3 spot. Sexton still out front. Impressive ride leading this one.
So Sexton has he's got a lot in his pocket here. 1.2 seconds above Savachi. Savachi clearly the faster rider, able to triple onto that rhythm section or onto that tabletop and double out. I've noticed a lot of guys after that finish line jump tabletop, that right-hander, a lot of guys really running it deep into the corner on that back brake, which shows very little confidence in the tires, in the bike hooking up in that corner. So we are seeing places where the dirt is looser, and then conversely, in some of these tighter sections where the dirt is rutting up. So you've got more than one kind of riding technique being applied on the track.
Well, Shane McElrath has closed the gap up on the 52 of Oldenburg now to try and work his way into the top 5. And out, look at Oldenburg. Oldenburg really fast in the whoop section tonight. Meanwhile, out front, Savachi, that last time by, gained about 0.6 of a second. It was less than a second back from Chase Sexton. And Adam Cincerillo had closed the gap up on him a bit with Craig still in the number 4 spot. And as you can see right now, your top 6 riders all still right there together, bunched up with 3:15 left to go. We're looking on the right side of the screen. The battle for the lead now. Chase Sexton on the number 40. Joey Savachi. Oh, Savachi losing the front end just a bit. Drops back now. Here comes Adam Cincerillo. Cincerillo doing the Anderson style with the jersey, flying in the back.
Doing the Crutcher style.
Sorry, Crutcher style. He got that from you, right?
Thank you.
Look at this battle between McElrath on the left side and Oldenburg.
Yeah, these guys are swapping a little bit of paint here. Oldenburg needs to shut McElrath down because I believe that McElrath is the faster rider in this situation. Oldenburg needs to make a statement. I mean, who cares about who this guy is? To him, it shouldn't matter. These guys are racing for position. Never mind the fact that McElrath, was the points leader after A1 or anything like that. That should not concern Oldenburg. He should be, dishing it out by all means. And I mean, honestly, especially in Supercross racing, taking the shots.
I think the thing about that too is should be and is be or would be or could be or is what I'm trying to say. It's probably still bothering him, even though it shouldn't be. I'm sure that's on his mind.
Yeah, I mean, anytime that you have any type of physical altercation out on the track with someone or any type of look over and cut off or any sass, it adds an element of anger and frustration, which, I mean, if you're not careful, will take your mind off of like this whoop. This whoop section. There may be one whoop that's bigger than the other. If you're thinking about the guy that's behind you that just pissed you off, it's going to be hard to remember that one whoop, and a mistake could happen.
Oh, here comes Joey Savachi now, tripling up on that section. Our top 3 riders going to be all right there together. 1:30 to go. Savachi setting up to the inside, trying to make the move on Sexton. Sexton knows he's there. Now Sexton going to try and set him up. But look at Adam Cincerillo now, trying to dive back by Sexton, just about diving too tight onto the inside there through the step on, step off. Now Cincerillo, I got a feeling he's going to try and make his move right here on Sexton. Sexton will cut under. No, side by side, up and over the triple. A good battle right now. Cincerillo covering that inside line. Taking over the number 2 spot now.
If I'm judging just off of Sexton's riding technique and where his vision is set, he's looking really close in front of his tire, whereas even right behind him, Christian Craig looking further down the track, Cincerillo looking further down the track. That means that Sexton starting to get a little gas, doesn't quite have the stamina needed to go, as we've got 43 seconds remaining plus 2 laps.
And here comes Shane McElrath now. McElrath up in the number 5 spot, trying to close the gap up on Christian Craig. And as we talked about with Craig, looks to me you can see the riding style in Craig has changed tremendously, possibly starting to, like you said, run out of gas here in this one. Savachi out front with a 1 second lead over his teammate, Adam Cincerillo. Chase Sexton still sitting in 3rd, Christian Craig in 4th, McElrath in 5th, followed up by Oldenburg, Plessinger, Melross, Chisholm, Hill, your top 10 here in this one.
And Savachi knows that if Cincerillo's right behind him and Cincerillo wants to win, there's no payout difference. I don't think that Mitch's team has incentivized these mini mains or moto races. So be it. If Cincerillo, wrap your head around this. If Cincerillo passes Savachi and wins, Savachi still wow. Savachi will still have the points lead. I'm sorry, the lowest score going into the 3rd main, and he will take home the paycheck.
Well, Christian Craig and McElrath battling out right now. McElrath running in hard on Christian Craig, and he goes on by. So Shane McElrath on that Troy Lee Designs KTM, Red Bull KTM, has worked his way up to the number 4 spot now on this final lap as they work their way up and over the triple now. Savachi still out front, 9/10 of a second ahead of Cincerillo. Chase Sexton, the number 3 spot. McElrath, Craig, and now Craig's got company coming up behind him from Oldenburg. So Christian Craig here on this final lap. They're coming into lap traffic. That could play a part in this one as well. Through the whoop section they go. Back onto the left-hand side. There you see Chase Sexton in front of him. There is your leader, Joey Savachi. And look at Cincerillo now. Cincerillo goes wide, sets up for the step-on, step-off. He's going to go to the inside. Not going to be close enough. Checkered flag. Joey Savachi takes the win. What a finish, though, for Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. 1 and 2 nearly crossed the line at the same time. Savachi, Cincerillo, and Sexton, your top 3 here in this one.
Really good ride for Chase to maintain. I mean, he held the lead for how many laps? Majority of the race and faded towards the end. I think pressure and nerves really got to him and fell back a couple spots. But now, so Joey Savachi's the first one to win the Triple Crown style format.
You could see the disappointment there on that crash right there.
Every time we see it, that's one of those commercials that keeps replaying. So Savachi, Cincerillo, Sexton, McElrath, Craig, Oldenburg, Plessinger, Melross, Hill with 9th, Chisholm rounding out the top 10. Let's see, the fastest lap time was set by Chase Sexton on the 7th lap. Shane McElrath's fastest lap time was on the 8th lap. Christian Craig's fastest lap time set on the 10th lap. So he must have been under pressure, probably from McElrath on that 10th lap.
Let's take a look here and see if they have put together the overall results yet.
Not quite. Results not yet available. So as soon as those pop up here, we will read those off to you. So let's see here. Yeah, sorry about the weird audio difficulty we had earlier. I'm glad I could get that sorted out. That was a weird deal. In the meantime, while we're just sitting here with a little bit of time to shoot the shit, I would like to show off my super sweet hoodie that I picked up from Freedom Cycles here. This is another Fox hoodie. It's got a couple sweet little badges sewn onto the front here. The Fox logo with a little checkered flag in it. MX Foxborough. But the best part, the back that says Moto X 1974. How do you beat that, bro? I mean, that's pretty tight. Moto X.
Yep.
Real good, soft, high quality. Great hoodie. I spilled coffee all over it earlier, and
take it back. Warranty.
Y'all cover warranty on coffee?
Domino's does. If you ruin your pizza before you get home, they'll make you a new one.
Are you serious?
Yes. Domino's has insurance on pizza.
Do you have to pay extra for it?
I don't know.
Maybe I should invest in that.
Very true story, though. So as we're getting set for our final 450 main here tonight, once again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in to the OTB Race Companion podcast, Facebook Live podcast. Obviously, we had some audio technical difficulties earlier. We appreciate you guys, everybody coming back. Not a clue what happened. We had some alien audio coming in. Once again, our 450 main event number 3 going to be finishing up. A very unique format tonight. It's made for a unique show. A lot of downtime in between. We've been kind of getting able to get back to a podcast style show in between the races. We had a lot of downtime. I think this is going to definitely spice things up this season. At this point, I'm kind of glad there's only 3 of them, and I'm kind of glad there's not 17 of them.
Yeah, it would probably make for a harder broadcast for us. For sure. Man, is everybody lined up? We're still getting 450s lined up here.
Nope.
And Savachi's about to tell us what he thinks.
You said it when you got up here. It felt good to finish on top and be at the top of the podium. There's been a lot of hard work. It's been over a year since your last first place finish. How good does this one feel tonight?
Man, it's words can't explain it. You know, the man up above he's got a plan and you got to keep believing. And you know, like I was telling you, I'd be lying if I said it's been a long May till now. You know, the way Vegas ended wasn't ideal. But you know, it only made us a better person, and you know, it keeps me very thankful and love what I do. And man, I'll tell you what, it's like I told you, it's been a long time since I've been up here and actually been genuinely obviously Pro Circuit Kawasaki, don't let tires are off to a great start. VP Fuels, Fox, Scott Goggles, Bell Helmets, I am Specialized. My fiance actually came out to this one as well. She wasn't going to, so maybe she's my good luck charm because 2 weekends in a row we've been on the box. So all in all, Ricky and Jeannie, we've been working hard at the farm and we're never satisfied. And we leave here tonight on top, but there's things to fix and things to get better at. But like I said, I can't explain it. I'm very happy.
It's good to see the smile. Congratulations, guys.
Well, here's how it broke
There it
down
is.
with the event points as you take a look at the top.
So there is our event overall. Savachi taking the overall win. We've got McElrath taking second. Christian Craig third. Adam Sinsrell fourth. Oldenburg fifth. Plessinger, your points leader coming in, finished with sixth overall. Melross, Sexton, Nicoletti, and Justin Hill, your defending champion, taking the number 10 spot. So I honestly, looking at that order right there, we got Shane Oldenburg. Let's take a listen to Shane Oldenburg.
Shane McElrath.
Or Shane McElrath. Shane Oldenburg. I'm a real Arcticman, aren't I?
You're a real Ralph Shaheen.
How was that response from you?
Man, I just had a lot of fun out there. It was crazy to run the 3 races against everybody. Man, we had to fight for that one, and it was kind of chaos. But dude, it was so much fun, and just thankful to be here, man. Praise God, He's blessed us, and we're healthy. We're moving forward. We ended up second. That was a tough race, but man, it was a lot of fun.
All right, well, we enjoyed watching you. Congrats. All right, Christian, I'm going to change gears. Last week, we saw you with that horrible ankle injury, and I know it was sprained and you're coming back from it, but tonight to get back on the podium, last time you were up on the podium was Toronto. So this is big for you to get back up here. How'd you do it?
Man, especially after last week, it was kind of like a downfall for me with the ankle, and then I still salvaged out some points, but I was still motivated this week just to, I don't know what it was, but something just hit me, and I'm just like, I gotta start making some stuff happen. I'm getting up there in the age, and there's not much time left for me, like with this racing thing. So I need to make the best of it. So whenever these opportunities come, like I just gotta get those starts, just like I did in all 3 of those races. I started up front and ran with those guys, put in consistent laps, and I'm finally showing myself.
Come on, Christian, wrap it up.
So confident, so to bring us to the race.
Seriously, it's too long. He hasn't said anything.
He said he's old. How old is Christian Craig?
He's not 25.
Really?
Yeah. He's a couple years younger than I am.
You guys are expecting another coming up soon. So
Just go ahead and kill that.
Okay.
So, by
Killing
the
it.
way, happy birthday to Michael here, who turned. Oh, look at that. Savachi, the new points. Wow. Savachi and McElrath tied in points. Aaron Plessinger comes out 2 below.
Wow. So Plessinger dropping 2 spots. Christian Craig now up to 4th, 11 points back. Cinsarello in 5th. Says we have 5 minutes to the start of the 450 race. I don't know if we actually have 5 minutes. It said that last time, and we got to talking, and it dropped pretty quick.
Yeah, it could have been 5 minutes. So, yeah, you turned 30,
Thank you.
and now here you are, 30 years old.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You did it before me. You got here.
Yep.
Did you do anything? Did
I
you
win.
Did you celebrate, or you were?
You know
still-
what? We had a lovely dinner with the family. And actually, we were talking about celebrating this evening, maybe going out and about, run around town, that kind of thing. And I said, I have something very important to do. Therefore, 30th celebration is canceled. We are moving to OTV.
So
I'm celebrating my 30th birthday by doing this OTV podcast right here.
hell yeah! So those of us that are watching FS1 here, there's a call now for there's some super sultry blonde girl on Nightline. And so actually, just whenever Mike and I were setting everything up here, I actually dialed the Nightline hotline and advertised the OTV podcast for any single ladies that were out there looking to hear about the OTV podcast. What they were trying to find was a mate. But what they ended up hearing about was the OTV podcast. I gave them
They did not find love, but they found motocross.
hey, what's better?
Motocross.
That's right.
I didn't say that.
Nope. Love you, babe.
Right. Love you, honey.
So let's go back over to our comments over here. And looks like nobody's really commenting.
Everybody might be asleep at this point.
Yeah, after that Christian Craig interview, I kind of lost track of time between, dude, between him and Moose Gann, they could have their own talk show.
Well, I think perhaps the most exciting part of tonight so far, I would have to say, is 450 main event number 1.
Yeah, that was a hell of a barn burner. But then right behind me, main number 2 was just as, I mean, maybe not just as good, but also very entertaining. So now we're going to roll into the third and final main event, which is 16 minutes, I believe.
Yes. And it's only 5 minutes away.
Oh, thank God. I don't mean to complain or be negative here, but...
Oh, hey, look. I refreshed the page.
And we got a whole bunch of more comments?
Look at this. Yes.
Okay.
All right. We've got some new people here. Okay.
Spencer Sharp says he just tuned in, and he's so glad to turn the volume off on the broken record.
We might also be a broken record.
Well, perhaps.
Maybe he's just watching us. Maybe he's not listening. Maybe he's talking about us. Maybe he turned the volume off on us and he's just watching us.
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah.
Or he could be watching the audio glitch
Now, that could be too.
just on repeat.
That's right. Nick Click wants to know who won. Did Bubba Pauly win?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I am telling you the Bubba Pauly one. And Ronnie Ford did great. He qualified straight in from timed qualifying and got a fantastic fourth place in the 450 main number 1 on his Husky 2-stroke. I think.
Pretty close, I think.
Yeah.
I think 42nd in timed qualifying is real close.
Out of 41. Yeah.
Yeah. Out of 40.
Out of 40 riders. So that's something that we talked about was the entries were down at the Triple Crown style format racing, where as you've definitely got a lot less privateers that are willing to try their hand. And I mentioned this earlier when we first started the broadcast. That's something to consider. Imagine whenever you are a backmarker 3-digit guy on a privateer bike who's more or less, I mean, you might have good times, but not quite good enough to, just shoe yourself in into the mains from the time qualifying. And look at this. We are...
Jeff Crutcher, we are ready to go.
Oh, God.
Has it been 5 minutes already?
I don't know.
Woo, time is flying.
I guess so.
It is flying.
So I noticed that Chad Reed there, still wearing Oakley goggles, not switching over to the Fox, despite his Fox and Shift ride that he's... full kit that he's sporting there. Okay, so 15 seconds on the card now, Michael. Who do you think is going to get the whole shot?
Ooh, my money on this one is going to be Cole Seeley.
I'm going to go with Blake Baggett. Will be, I'll put $1 down on that. Vegas odds.
Ooh, okay, here we go. Getting set for the board to go sideways. 450 main event number 3, the Triple Crown here in Anaheim. Looking for that gate to drop. And we are off and underway into the first turn. Who's going to be grabbing the whole shot? Looks like we are both wrong as they come out of this one. It looks like it's going to be the number 3, Eli Tomac. Anderson right there with him. There's Baggett, though. There is Ken Roxon. Roxon finally gets the start here in main event number 3 that he's looked for all night long, as Roxon in the number 5 spot now here in this one.
Finally, Roxon out of the back half of the markers. And look at this. Justin Brayton passed Jason Anderson up into second place. Brayton knows that it's, go time, and he's going to go for it. I like that. Also representing the plus 30 class.
3 wide through the whoop section. Now Anderson trying to make the move back on Justin Brayton as they work their way around. Anderson now up into the number 2 spot. We got Weston Pike in the number 4 spot. Anderson trying to catch back up to Tomac, trying to salvage as many points as he can, hold on to that red plate here in this one. There's Ken Roxon. Roxon, the first time we've seen him tonight within the top 5, main event number 3. A little bit too late, I would say, for an overall, that's for sure. We'll see if he's able to salvage some points here with this one as he comes up on Weston Pike now. And it looks to me like Roxon looking way more comfortable here in this one. Did they make some bike changes, you think, or what do you think has changed here for Roxon?
Well, he's got a fresh set of gear on. That's key. Different boots. I think, he's put those short races behind him, and he's ready to just move on and move forward. And he knows, he's got superior conditioning, and so he's just going to push forward with 14 minutes remaining. So this is a 15-minute plus 1 lap race. Now we're down to almost 13 minutes. At that section right there where they're tripling onto that tabletop, Seeley all the way back in, he's outside of the top 10. So this is it's going to be hard for Seeley. He's really going to have to work his way up if he wants to maintain that win. Looks like Dean Wilson, right side of the screen, out with a mechanical. And a better start for Jeremy Martin, the number 6 on the Geico Honda. No love from his manufacturer teammate Seeley. Seeley's in this one to win.
Cole Seeley on a move here in this one right now. And another thing to watch here in this one, Tomac and Anderson, 1 and 2. Brayton, the number 3, Pike, and Roxon in that number 5 spot. But Roxon, he looks to be flowing way more here in this one. Cooper Webb also up there in the running as well. And Seeley right now sitting in that
Seeley
10.
currently in
the number 10 spot. So that'll put him out of the running there. And there you see Weston Pike looking over his shoulder. Roxon coming up a bit short there on the finish line jump. The 94 HRC Honda rider looking to dive to the inside of Pike here on this one. Not going to be close enough to make a move through this rhythm lane. There you see Justin Brayton still in the number 3 spot. And Roxon looks to be charging a lot harder here in this one. A lot more comfortable, it seems like, here in main event number 3 as he works his way through the whoop section. Another thing, Jeff, a lot more riders trying to jump through the whoops as the night has gone on compared to try and skim across the top of them.
That smaller whoop section does have one main line right in the middle of it that's kind of cupped out and gives that opportunity to jump through the valleys instead of skim across the top. Now I want to talk very quickly. Barsha 13th, Reed 14th. Tickle 15th, Muscan 16th. So Marvin obviously still feeling the after effects of that crash in the whoops last weekend.
Well, that triple step on, step off before the finish line. Roxon, one of the few riders actually taking nearly the inside line before it and still able to triple up on top of it. So Roxon grabbing a handful of throttle to do that as he is putting the pressure on Weston Pike right now. But Pike, like a bull out front here in this one. Tomac and Anderson. Now Anderson trying to close that gap up on him just a bit. They were 0.8 of a second apart last time by the line. Anderson working his way through the whoop section, trying to take a little bit different line than Tomac there. Up and over the triple there. Tomac on that Monster Energy Kawasaki leading the way. He was main event number 2 winner. He's looking for a main event win here in this one as well.
Anderson on the factory edition Husky just set the fastest lap time of the race under the 51 mark at a 50.7.
And there he goes, Jeff, right by him, stuffs him in the corner.
And I think he's obviously the fastest rider on the track right now, and that's why he just made the pass against Tomac. So now Anderson getting closer. However, Tomac just has to hold it together, and he's going to have the overall with 7 points.
As we look back in the field right now, we're looking at the number 14 of Cole Seeley, of course, main event number 1 winner. He finished second in main event number 2. He is now sitting in that number 9 spot, so he's only worked his way up 1 spot here with 10 minutes and a lap to go. Coming back through that tricky section, he's got Vince Freeze behind him. There's Cooper Webb. Just ahead of him is Josh Grant. Of course, he's got Martin a couple bikes back from him now as they work their way around. 10 minutes now left to go in this one, and Cooper Webb diving up the inside on Vince Freeze.
Tomac setting in first with points as they run, Anderson in second, and Brayton in third. So it looks like Brayton's setting pretty well. Again, he's run top 3 very consistently all night. One of the more consistent riders in this Triple Crown style event.
Well, and I think a 3.33 for Brayton, I think that's going to be a huge boost of confidence, and I think that'll carry over into the regular format next week. Brayton was one coming into the season. I don't think a lot of people would expect to be in the top 5, let alone top 3, but I think we'll see more of this after tonight.
Well, Brayton's the Australian National Supercross champion, which is, that's a pretty big accolade to claim because the Australian series is absolutely no slouch. Obviously, Chad Reed, the Australian talent, coming in to show what kind of speed as we see Martin really trying to pressure Freeze into a mistake over the triple section. Now through the rhythm, he's going to take the position of 10th place from the Moto Concepts rider Freeze. Freeze almost riding like he's got a flat tire.
And Bam Bam Barsha coming up behind him now. Barsha, another one, was running out front, and we saw Barsha take some aggression out on Reed in main event number 2. We'll see how long he puts up behind Freeze before he pushes him out of the way as well. And I got a feeling it's going to be coming right here as Freeze looks over and says, nah, go ahead.
And Musquin has checked out of the race, so I'd say that Musquin's championship hopes are over.
Wow. So Musquin out. That's going to be 2 races out for Musquin. Well, I guess he may gain a couple points for just making the main over Tomac, not making either night show in round 1 or round 2. Meanwhile, out front in this one, Anderson with a 2.5 second lead with 8 minutes left to go. Anderson in full control out there on that Rockstar Husqvarna, leading the way.
Meanwhile, Seeley sitting in 8th. So he's moved up a couple spots with a 118. That's 11 points. So we actually have a 3-way tie between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, all for 11 points. So if Seeley moves up one more position into 7th place, which he's currently not, he's setting a faster lap time than Grant, then that will actually put him into 2nd. So Tomac with 8 points, so Seeley needs to get down to 5th in order to win. And we are halfway through the main right now, so we've got plenty of time for either Tomac to make a mistake, or for Seeley to pass a couple riders.
Anderson railing the top of those berms. You're talking about the tiebreaker. What is this tiebreaker outdoor moto? Is it the final finish here?
The final finish is the tiebreaker. Yep.
As they work their way around, Ken Roxon on the number 94, chasing down Brayton. Brayton in that number 3 spot. So Roxon looking the best he has looked all night long here in this one. The start he was hoping for, at least better than his first 2 main starts, as he's sitting in the number 4 spot. His fast lap right now for Roxon, a 51.5. Anderson's fast lap, a 50.4. So Anderson's fast lap 1 second faster than Roxon's fast lap here in this one with 6:30 left to go.
Setting the fastest lap in the 10th lap, though, was Weston Pike at a 51.6.
Weston Pike, another rider holding strong up there in the number 5 spot here in this one. Barsha still sitting in 11th. Barsha, front rider there. They're showing on the side there, we talked about earlier, the unique helmet that Roxon is wearing here tonight. All of those people that helped get him back on the bike, their names listed on that Fox Red Bull helmet as he's working his way still around in the number 4 spot. There you can see Weston Pike, not too far back from him, about a straightaway length back from him right now with 6 minutes left to go in this one.
Seeley only 0.5 seconds behind Grant, so Seeley really pressuring Grant to, as we see on the TV now. So should he pass, that will put him into 2nd place on the box immediately.
Into that long whoop section they go here. Seeley trying to close it up and over the triple they go now. Just ahead of him here in this one, Blake Baggett in that number 6 spot. Of course, Blake Baggett taking a tumble earlier on as well. I believe that was main event number 1.
That's rather complex to think about, that the rider in 8th place currently could pass Josh Grant and then end up 2nd overall. So a little bit of a more strategic type racing, more complex, a little more math to it, but has provided for some pretty good racing so far with 5 minutes even left in the race.
Anderson still out front here in this one. His lead now 3.3 seconds over Eli Tomac. Brayton still holding strong in 3rd, 1.2 seconds ahead of Roxon, with Pike in the number 5 spot here in this one. And as you can see, Josh Grant and Cole Seeley now have closed the gap up on Blake Baggett, the number 4. Baggett in that number 6 spot. We're looking on the right-hand side of the screen. You see your leader, Jason Anderson, out front. The red plate on that number 21, Rockstar Husqvarna. He's looking to carry that red plate into next weekend as well. Right now, looking for a win here in main event number 3. As they come up and over the finish line there, Seeley not closing the gap up on Grant as fast as I thought he might. Here in this one, 4:25 left to go.
With the points as they run in the Series Championship, we've got Anderson in first with 49, Roxon in second with 42, and Seeley in third with 36, tied with Weston Pike also at 36. So if Seeley passes one more rider into 7th, then that will essentially make him tied as they run with. Seeley would be tied coming out of the race with Roxon and Barsha. Barsha currently outside of the top 10 as they run right now.
Well, we saw Jason Anderson on the right-hand side there make a little bit of a mistake, charging hard into that corner there before the finish line. He stretched out his lead to 4.5 seconds with 3:30 left to go here in this one. Tomac still in second, Brayton in third. Roxon only 1 second back from Brayton now. There you see Justin Barsha. Barsha on the 51 closing up on Martin on the number 6. Back to the leader now through the whoop section once again. One of the few riders along with Eli Tomac out there in that Alpine Star gear.
Yeah, that's Dakota Tedder that's getting lapped. So he's going to be the first rider to get lapped with 3 minutes to go. That's about normal pace for one of these Monster Energy main events to be 13 minutes deep into the race and be catching up to the lappers already. Now we won't see quite as much lapper interference with the shorter main. So right in front of Seeley and Grant is Baggett and Pike battling out. And if either of them make a mistake here, Seeley's going to be the benefactor. And as they run right now, Seeley bypassing Grant has moved himself up into second place overall.
Well, Grant making a little bit of mistake there through that rhythm section. Seeley goes by, and as you mentioned, there's a few lappers. Looks like I thought that was Intignap. As they come back through the rhythm section now, just ahead of them, a good battle between Baggett and Pike. But I got a feeling Seeley, with 2 minutes left to go, I think we're going to see him close the gap up on Blake Baggett now that he's got a clear track ahead of him. Through the rhythm section he goes. As you can see, Josh Grant already falling back a couple bike lengths. Oh, mistake there for Seeley, just about losing it. Unable to triple up on that tabletop.
So Seeley 1.78 seconds behind Baggett, and he's not riding any faster, but actually Baggett is running a faster lap time. Let me rephrase. Seeley slower than Pike, Baggett, and Roxon, so the likelihood of him catching up is slim to none. That bad start in this race really not helping.
And look at Baggett right now trying to make the move on Weston Pike, but he's playing it safe, trying to take a safe way by, as he's had a couple opportunities but didn't put in an aggressive move that you might see from some of the other riders. Taking that outside line, the whoop section. We'll see if he cuts under here into the big triple section. They go Weston Pike in that number 5 spot. Baggett, of course, in the 6th spot. Baggett now running up the inside. Not going to be quite close enough into the triple section. Both of them side by side now. Baggett dives to the inside. Not going to be close enough to make the move. Pike jumping over on him a bit.
Yeah, as these two riders are battling it out, Seeley is catching up a little bit to them. So as they dice with each other, Seeley could potentially at least pass one of them should they collide.
Well, not far in front of these two is the 94 of Ken Roxon in that number 4 spot. Looks like they've got the 90 of Tedder in between them there.
Tedder going outside as a lap rider and letting the riders on the lead lap come through. Did I just see contact between Tedder and Seeley?
That was a big mistake back there for somebody just about going down. I'm not sure if that was Seeley or Tedder. I have to see if they show a replay here or show where Seeley is sitting right now. As Baggett is dropped, there's Seeley, and there's Josh Grant. I got a feel, I'm not sure who that was, but they just about went down hard in that one.
Perhaps Tedder went down and Seeley was directly behind him.
Could have been. As they work their way back around now, Baggett, he's about a straightaway length back from Weston Pike, and look, not far up from him now, less than a second back from Ken Roxon. Time has run out. They'll be getting the white flag when they come around this time.
Yeah, I think the clock has counted down for Seeley. Even if he passes the next two riders, that will tie him for points with Anderson. Or no, Tomac rather. But he has to advance to fourth in order to actually get the overall win.
Well, this is going to be their final lap as they work their way around. Anderson out front with a 7-second lead. Brayton still in the number 3 spot. An impressive ride for Justin Brayton. Roxon in that number 4 spot. Pike in the number 5 spot. Coming around there, you see your leader right there, Jason Anderson. One final time up and over through that big triple section through the center. Jumping his way through the whoop section into that tricky section here as they drop down.
I do wonder if Anderson is contracted to ride in just this blue, white, and yellow gear, or if he'll be available to wear different colorways as the season goes on.
And there you see Anderson celebrating here He's celebrating a main event number 3 win. However, Tomac, as it sits right now, will be your overall winner here from Anaheim number 2 as they come around. Checkered flag is out. Main event number 3, Jason Anderson with the win here in this one. Coming around for that number 2 spot, the number 3 of Eli Tomac. Tomac going to take the overall win here tonight. Coming around for third will be Justin Brayton, a fantastic finish for him. Roxon will finish in fourth. Pike, Baggett, Seeley, your top 7 here in this one.
I don't think that Tomac knows. He didn't know he won. Whenever he came across the finish line there, he had no idea that he got the overall. And how about, Justin Brayton with the 3-3-3 and probably going to end up like 9th overall with that score.
Tomac taking the overall win tonight. So a lot of people did not expect Tomac to even be out there racing. Not only was he out there racing, he put in the consistency and a main event number 2 win. Second place in main event number 3 to take the overall win tonight in the first Monster Energy Triple Crown here at Anaheim 2. We've got 2 more Triple Crown events throughout the season as they're taking a Toyota look at moment of the race. And this is going to be where Jason Anderson made that aggressive pass on Tomac, dives to the inside, shows him a wheel, and that was all Tomac saw of Jason Anderson as he was gone from there with a 7-second lead to take the win here in this one.
That's a pretty large gap to put onto Tomac there. But again, Tomac, well, maybe he knew, maybe he didn't know, where he would be. So we're going to take a sec to listen to what Eli has to say. Probably not going to be super thrilling content knowing Eli Tomac.
How is the shoulder feeling, and how are you able to get it done tonight?
It's pretty unbelievable what a week will do. When you have a, basically smashed muscle, it just takes time to recover. Just the way the human body works, and all I know is we got it better, and it was just all about getting to the show tonight, and then just putting, 3 consistent motos in, and I wasn't expecting this at all. So wow, that's all I can say.
Well, congratulations, and I know it's good for all of us to have Eli back and run strong. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Even Eli called him motos.
He did say motos?
He said 3 motos.
There it is. Good. I like that. How about that guy with the haircut being all up in the business? I've seen that dude on the TV more than anybody else.
So Eli Tomac with the overall win. Jason Anderson with that main event number 3 win. We'll see if we can find here the overall results. We'll give you a rundown here and points. Not available.
Let's hit the refresh button. Not quite available. Let's do a recap of the 250 very quick. So the official results, Mike, take it away.
Official results from tonight. Overall, Joey Savacci taking the win. Shane McElrath took 2nd. Christian Craig 3rd. Adam Cincerillo 4th. Mitchell Oldenburg 5th. Aaron Plessinger 6th. Melross, Sexton, Nicoletti, and Hill rounding out your top 10. And that changed quite a few things up in the West Coast points.
So McElrath actually still has the points lead with 68 total, and I would guess that he has... Wow, no, it is a absolute virtual tie. There's no difference between first and second with 68 points. Both scoring 16, 19, and 23 points respectively. Right behind them, Aaron Plessinger, the rider out of Hamilton, Ohio, with 66 points with a 23, 26, 17. So really, Plessinger tonight was not his night, but yet still in title contention after having less than stellar performance in that 3-moto format.
Well, Christian Craig sitting in the number 4 spot in points, followed by Adam Cincerillo, Oldenburg, Sexton, Hill, Chisholm, and Melross. Your top 10 in our 250 West points as of right now. We'll head back over here and see, official results for a 450 class.
So Tomac, the Cortez, Colorado, Kawasaki Monster Energy rider, going 5-1-2 for 26 points, taken out of the series. Seeley with a 1-2-7. Man, if he could have just dropped down a couple points there, he would have had to have gotten 4th, with the 3rd moto being the tiebreaker. Anderson with a 7-3-1 on the Rockstar Husky.
Heartbreak for Brayton.
Yeah, with a 2. Okay, so he didn't go 3-3-3. He went 2-6-3. 3rd place in that second moto was, in fact, Anderson. Pike, Grant, Baggett, Barsha, and Roxon wrapping it out to make your top 10. Roxon with an 11-12-4. I really thought that his night was going downhill after those first two double-digit performance rides. He's going to take 14 points into the next race, which let's go to the rider point standings here. Anderson with 70 points, an 11-point lead above Seeley.
Wow.
Barsha 57, Roxon 56. So the 450 class being a little more blown out than the 250 West division. Pike in 5th with 54, Brayton 52 and 6th, followed by Grant, Baggett, Tickle, and Webb, the last rider to finish all three. No, I'm sorry. Okay, so Muscan with a 26-0-10, and that I'm really curious to find out what happened to Muscan in that last main there.
Well, and not to mention Eli Tomac, even after missing the first two rounds, is sitting 13th overall. I did not expect him to be that far up in the running with a race win, and that's it.
Meanwhile, Ben LeMay with 15 points as a 6, 8, and 1 point score from tonight. He didn't do too well tonight. I think he was just plain shot from having to do 3 practice sessions, an LCQ, and 3 races. He one of the few riders that transferred out of the LCQ.
Here's something to think about. Chad Reed has finished round 1, round 2, and round 3. He sits in 16th. Tomac has only raced 1 round, and he sits in 13th.
Well, that's
an unfortunate start to 2018 for Chad Reed.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, guys, I'd say we're going to wrap it up here from the OTB studio. We appreciate you watching all night. On behalf of my fantastic race caller, this is Mike Garrison and Jeff Crutcher. Check us out on iTunes and Stitcher. Go back and listen to the old episodes, listen to the current episodes. Go to Donnell's Motorcycles and check out the selection of Fox gear, Freedom Cycles, carrying the all-new 2018 Shift catalog. And also thank you to Bar to Bar MX in Wichita. Thank you to Nick Peterson's Bikeworks LLC, Honest Wrenches at a fair price, and to Corey Hipp's Darttown Arena in Chattanooga, Tennessee. This is us signing off. We appreciate you. We will see you not next weekend, but the weekend after for more Race Companion here on the OTB podcast.
Right on, brother.
Don't forget to click post.
Fucking nice one, brother. That button right there.
That button right there.
Yeah.
Oh.